certain extreme situations, the law is inadequate. In order to shame its inadequacy, it is necessary to act outside the law, to pursue natural justice. This is not vengeance. Revenge is not a valid motive, it's an emotional response. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Tonight we have a chance to say, yeah, you're right. We're too extreme, we're too wild, we're too out of control, we're too full of our own shit. Or we have a chance to say, hey, fuck you, you're wrong. Fuck you, we're right. Because you have all made it to the dance. Because believe me, this is the dance. Start the show.
All right, look, we got to have a couple of conversations tonight. Couple of uncomfortable conversations. Look, we're gonna. Oh my God! Oh my God! So we got to talk about the shooting, and I'm gonna let everybody vent. Here's my deal. I've been thinking about the shooting today, and I've been thinking about how tomorrow's Rumble Link Thursday. And I don't want to wreck that for anybody. That's like, hey, we had a perfect week, which we're 170 away from tonight. We got them all done, which is great. And I've been thinking about, like, we're a talk show. We got to talk about this. So I thought about it today, and while I've been thinking about it, I thought, you know what? There's going to be a lot of places this weekend where you guys are with family, you're with friends. You're going to be with people where you feel like, people might judge you for having certain opinions. And I have gotten on people who spend too much time on the internet because I've said it's not real. You're going to spend a lot of time, hopefully, in the real world this weekend. And I want you to be able to live in the fake world tonight. And I believe in people saying what they feel. Tonight, nobody's going to fight with you. Tonight, nobody's going to be upset with you. Tonight, nobody's going to start this big, long argument with you. I think tonight what we can do on our show is you can have whatever opinion you want. Send it in. If it's going to sound hateful to some people, I'd rather have you get it out. If it's going to sound gun control-y to some people, I don't give a shit. Just get it out. I want people to feel like they don't have to have any inhibitions. They don't have to watch themselves. I'd rather have you get it out here with someone who's used to handling a lot of opinions. We can go through it. We can talk about it. We can process it. Because I'll tell you this, that shooting got to me, man. We're going to play a few clips today. And I might lose my shit a little bit. I might get a little emotional watching some of these clips because I got 3 kids that start school on Tuesday. And God damn, man, it just hits. And when I didn't have kids, I hated it when people went, well, I have kids, so therefore this hits me this way. I get that, but I'm going to tell the people who don't have children, I'm not saying this doesn't hit you. I'm not saying this doesn't affect you. What I'm saying is when we see every time we see people, those of us with children, when we see one of these happen, we will always we won't be able to not see our own children in it. And it fucks you up a little bit. So it's fucked me up a little bit today. I've thought about it a lot. My position is to give a lot of grace this first day. A lot of people wanted us to, and I don't want to apologize to the morning audience, but I want to explain. You know what? Fuck it. I want to apologize to the morning audience. They were really hassling me to cover it. And I didn't want to cover it because the media doesn't know shit in the first few minutes. And they wanted me to do this thing where we just watch live coverage. And as a father of 3, I didn't want to watch fucking constant 1-hour live coverage of a place where kids just got murdered. I didn't want to do it. So I went, no, the media doesn't fucking know anything. Let's just fucking calm down. Not everything needs to be first. I still think I was right on that, but I lashed out because I don't want to watch stories about dead kids when I'm doing the morning show, when it's like fresh breaking. What I did say this morning is, hey, for the evening show tonight, we'll be able to talk about this. We'll have more information. And boy, do we. And I know that because of who the shooter is, there's going to be, the media is going to really tamp down on this in the next day or so. They're not going to want to talk about this as much because of who the shooter is and where the conversation's going to go because of who the shooter is. I think tonight we can spend time on our show talking about your opinions, talking about how you feel. Because if there's one thing I've learned in dealing with the Steel Toe Hate Squad, even guys like Carl and those people, it's that when people who don't feel heard develop a hatred, it can get really irrational, and it can get really weird and really fucked up, and it can wreck your soul. I've watched it wreck people's soul. And then you go to like the people. I can only view this through my own prism. I've watched people who have become so obsessed with me that it's become unhealthy for their life. And they develop just like even a look in their eye. That's like, it just looks like you got sick, like you got a virus of some sort. And so I don't want anybody in my audience to feel that way. I certainly, after watching all the Israel-Palestine stuff, I don't like it when people make you feel crazy for noticing things. So I am having one of those nights where I'm kind of going back to my radio days, and I'm feeling like a public responsibility for tonight's show. And I want to let you guys be able to sound off. We're going to watch a few stories. We're going to take a look at some things. But I want to let you guys sound off. I want to let you guys say what you want to say. We're going to go through it. We're going to read them. If we hit the goal, we hit the goal. That's great. I would love that. If you appreciate what you're doing, what we're doing, throw a couple our way. That's fantastic. But I just want to talk to you guys. I want to make sure you're okay. If you're a parent, if you're not a parent, if you're a student, whatever. I just want to talk to you. I want to make sure you're okay. If you've got hatreds, if there's things about today that are making you feel hateful, I would like you to tell me about it. I would like you to talk about those hatreds. I don't want to shame you for them. I don't want to tell you you're wrong. I don't want to call you a bigot. I don't want to do anything like that. I want you to feel comfortable in expressing yourself, because one thing I've learned in the last year and a half is that if you have unexercised trauma, it can fuck you up for the rest of your life. So I don't want anyone in my audience to feel like they can't express themselves or they can't say something. So you want to go in the chat tonight, you want to say some fucked up shit, go ahead and say some fucked up shit. I'll get to it if I can. I want you to be able to vent. I want you to be able to talk about what you're feeling. We'll go through the stories. We'll do the whole thing. I do want to throw a few thank yous out there. My neighbor and I sat on the deck. We talked a little about this stuff. I had a couple of beers. Don't worry, I'm not fucked up. But I am a little buzzed. I'm a little introspective. We hit the goal tonight. Things go well. I'll have a couple more beers. We'll chat about this. I'm not going to necessarily put a time limit on tonight's show. Tomorrow morning is Rumble Link Friday, Thursday. That's not a very, work-involved show for me. So if you guys have a lot of shit to say, you guys got a lot of stuff you want to get off your chest, and it takes us a little longer than usual, that's totally cool. Let's talk about it. Go ahead, write it in, send it in. We'll get there. Matthew Q with $5. He wrote this before I started talking about this, by the way. Really looking forward to the White Power Hour on tonight's show. I've been yelling at El Diablo. It's Spanish for the work done. Have a great show. I don't know what that means. $2 from Matthew Q says, all I have to say about this is I don't know if it was you or somebody else. I heard this from earlier today. But give the kids guns at this point, especially if they're proficient with it. I would trust my girlfriend's older boy with a gun right now at school. At least you could shoot back. Somebody in our chat did say that today. They said you might as well give the kids guns at this point. Now, I would see that as kind of giving up, as kind of a Mad Max solution to all this. But I want to tell you guys tonight, and I mean this. This is not a trick. And I honestly, I don't care if you come to Steel Toe to hate my fucking guts because it doesn't bother me and I don't take it serious. If you take it seriously, that's fine. I don't. Even if you hate my guts, if you got something to say tonight about what's going on in the real world, if you're scared, if it's fucking you up, if you got some problems, if you got some anger, some hostility, whatever, drop your guard for the night, let it out there, because Lord knows, people on the internet can go too far if they hold too much shit in. So throw it at us, hit like, hit subscribe, hit share, send it out to other people. If they want to vent, they can vent. And that's what we'll do tonight. Let's go to our people and see what we've got. Yes, Chad Buzamok. Sorry about your dog. I know you called me a cum guzzler with your very first chat tonight. That's appreciated. I'm sorry about your dog. I mean that. Dog is a family member. It hurts a lot. I've lost a couple of dogs in my day. They'll turn up. But yeah, I feel bad about about what you went through there. Glad it's done relatively quickly and that the dog didn't suffer. That's nice. Hulkamasha Baby says, okay. Now, again, I'm going to let people vent tonight. Hulkamasha Baby says, okay, instead of killing kids, that she should have put in his mouth at home and painted his ceiling. 09 Canyon says, that's smart. Better wait until we actually know what's what. Yes, it does look like the person who committed the shooting was someone who was a bit confused about their gender. I think we need to stop treating that like it's some kind of funny, haha, fucking identify as the gender you identify as thing, instead of doing what we should do with it and realizing that this is probably an expression of a lot of fucked up family trauma, and that person should probably be in therapy and working through a lot deeper issues, because we're on a really terrifying streak of the last few mass shootings where the trans community has been overrepresented in these shootings, and I don't think it's a good thing. Let's go into what you guys have. We'll go into a few stories about it. I want you guys to sound off, essentially. 09 Canyon says, I'm sorry, we just did the 09 Canyon one. Chad Buzamok did not butt fuck his dog to death. Harry Balls says another CIA-created Troon shooter. I don't think the CIA... Look, man, I love blaming the CIA for shit, but I don't think the CIA had anything to do with this one. I think we have a lot of mentally ill people who are getting the wrong medical advice. I think you have a lot of mentally ill people that were just indulging. This would be like the equivalent if in the 80s and 90s we told people who were hearing voices, well, just go with whatever the voice tells you. Instead of going, no, we should probably have you in to talk to somebody. You might have a chemical imbalance. Maybe we should get you hooked up on some antipsychotics. Not that those have always been the greatest, but, maybe we should get you some help. I think we're doing a real bad thing in just telling people, especially teenagers who go, oh, I think I'm a dude. And like, oh, quick, we have to get you dude things and we have to call you he and we have to... Easy, like relax. Why are they doing that? Are they doing it for attention? Do they feel like they haven't gotten enough love? Is there shit that happened when they were a young child that they're trying to work through now and they're trying to escape? Like, why do we jump right to, oh, here's some hormones, here's some pills, here's some this, here's some that? Like, I don't think that's the way to go either. Coltrane says Carol Evans scrubbed all their pictures of the words on the firearms as well as the trans aspect and had to get rid of it. That means they know there's something to it. I know they had like kill Donald Trump on the rifle. And I don't know if I read this wrong. I did read this in one media article that they had 6 million wasn't enough written on the gun. So Bapa Shab clearly not ruled out on this whole thing. Rabbi Smoothie says, no, the problem is government won't do anything to stop it. Let me play devil's advocate for a minute. Let me ask you a question, Rabbi Smoothie. What could the government have done to stop this? What was there we could have done to stop these poor little angels from being murdered? This is us. This is the devil. You know, people talk about what laws can we pass? Probably none. This is a break in society, not our laws. I don't think there's a single law you could have passed that would have stopped this person from killing those kids. I think this is something that we have allowed. I think this is a societal problem. I think it needs to be fixed gradually. The problem is everyone wants to fix it overnight. It didn't take us overnight to get here. It took us a long time to get here, and it'll take us a long time to fix it. Coltrane says, Care 11 also scrubbed their YouTube channel as well every fucking time. Oh, no. So they really are just scrubbing it of any mention. I hate when they do that. You know, it's a mass shooting. This morning, it was all over the news. It was everywhere. And now tonight, we get there and it's like, oh, yeah, they scrubbed any reference of what was on the gun, which was kill Donald Trump. They scrubbed any reference of the shooter being trans. And if you can't report shit honestly because you're worried what people might think, there might be a problem with the thing that's being reported rather than how the people are taking it. Numero uno Josh Denny fan says, Boozamak, I still can't even figure out what to say. It's fucking retarded. Dogs don't have the lifespan of turtles. They are the greatest. Yeah, I mean, it's very sad what happened to Boozamak's dogs. Or dog, I apologize. It's very sad. Vodka Rock says, I want to say prayers for all the families and kids affected by this today. R.I.P. to the babies we lost. I mean, the kids were praying. They were in church praying. Not that, like, it would have made it necessarily better or worse, but, like, that's just a horrible visual, you know? 09 Canyon says, asshole turning their rage on innocence instead of inward like us thoughtful, empathetic people do when we're all fucked up. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that this person has been bullied. I'm sure that this person was treated like shit their entire life. I still don't think that gives you an excuse to go and shoot innocent children. I'm sure you were treated differently. I'm sure you were treated poorly. And by the way, I don't think this person was just treated poorly because they were trans. I think there was a lot of bullying and abuse before the trans thing. And as a way to cope, I honestly do believe this. I think trans people use the trans identity to cope with previous trauma that they haven't worked out yet. And it's a way to escape that trauma. I do. And then they become trans, and then there's a whole new batch of shit they got to deal with because people say terrible things. Numero uno Josh Denny fan says, Aaron, any comments on the rumors that the popular White Power Hour segments on your show influenced the shooter? They were white and they hated Israel. I don't think that would have been on me in any way. 09 Canyon, so it's a good idea they shot up a Catholic school since they were pissed off at the Jays. Fucking idiot. I mean, it's there's rarely any logic and reason to things like this. Cockdiff says, Chad Booze, I'd trade 1 million tranny lives to bring back your dog. Mine passed in January. R.I.P. It's very hard to lose a dog. People who have never lost a dog kind of underestimate it. It is a really shitty thing. Rabbi Smoothie says, armed security guards at school for starters, metal detectors. This shit's been going on for 26 years. I really don't think there's any way to stop someone this evil. I mean, think about it. When you don't give a shit if you live or die, there's a lot of things you can accomplish that you probably couldn't have accomplished before. Harry Balls says, incorrect. Pass a law to arm and train the fucking teachers. A lot of people feel that way. Again, this is not a place you're going to come tonight and have an opinion and have me tell you, it's fucking stupid. Everybody gets to vent tonight. Throw in a few bucks if you'd like to. We appreciate that. But you guys are ahead from last night, and we do appreciate that. Mike Go says this is a mental illness and a cultural issue. This shit doesn't happen in stable, respectful countries like Japan, etc. Zero. I think we do. I mean, but what are you going to do? You know? What are you going to tell people they can't be trans? It's not really that possible. We've always had, even when it wasn't like a commonplace thing, we always had transvestites and things like that. So, I mean, what do we do? The best we can do is say, hey, when someone says they're trans, instead of immediately turning it into a fucking political issue and going, oh, let's go get you some dresses and let's figure out how we can tuck your sack back and shit like that. Maybe instead we go, okay, maybe you're not trans. Maybe you've had a really rough go of it in this body. And maybe we need to send you to talk to somebody about the trauma and the abuse that you've experienced in this body. Somebody can help you process that trauma. And then maybe even though your life won't be fucking aces, you won't feel like you need to do something so drastic as change your gender, because I can promise you that ain't going to make it easier. You know? Taste Fairy Ialto says, I'm totally fine with armed security in schools. That just seems like, you know, it just seems like we're giving up in a way when we do something like that, you know? Like, we got to live in a police state in our schools because of all this. That sucks. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan says, I DM'd you the guns with all the writing. Obviously, network news isn't going to show you all this. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to catch up with the chat. I'm going to let you guys vent. I think it's very important to let you guys vent. And then we're going to go over all of that stuff. By the way, thank you, Numero Uno, for introducing me into that OSINT Defender page. They do a lot of really good deep dives. Oh, that's cool. Cocktiff and Chad Buzamak are talking about how tough it is to lose a dog. That's cool. We're opening up some people tonight, you know? We're letting people open up a little this evening. That's good. Numero Uno also says, when I lost my dog, there wasn't really anything anyone said that made me feel better about it. I still miss her. I'd bawl my fucking eyes out if Gordy died. I really would. Jeff Jordan says, the demonic back channels on the internet doesn't help either. They're in video games too. Very evil. I've seen no evidence so far that anything internet related helped cause this. But I will say that I think the more people have a grasp with the real world and with real human beings and go out to meet people, I think the better off they are. I'll share a small anecdote that I know of. My uncle lost his wife of, holy shit, 40 some odd years. And he fell into a deep depression. And he stayed home. And he stayed home. And he stayed home. And he watched TV. And he sat in his chair. And, you know, saw his grandson every once in a while, but he largely stayed home. And the thing that pulled him out of his deep depression, aside from therapy and talking to people and things like that, was he would load up his vehicle with a bunch of snacks from Costco. And he would bring them to local retirement homes, old folks' homes. And he would bring them to the local car washes. And he would give them to the workers, and he would give them to the old folks that were there, and he would talk to them and things like that. And he would go out and he would spend time with these people. And he said, you know, one day he was driving around my neighborhood and he saw the kids in the front yard, and he pulled in. He goes, "Hey kids, come grab some snacks," and blah. And I had a chance to talk to him. And he said, "Yeah, this thing pulled me out of my depression. I went and talked to these people. It gave me a purpose. I went out and I saw people." And then he came out to my parents' house one day and he stayed for hours and hours and hours just talking and bullshitting. And I saw him kind of come back to life right in front of my eyes. And then just a couple of weeks ago, he was at my cousin's wedding and he was bouncing around and he was being social. And like watching him come back to life, the only thing that brought him back to life was getting out into the real world, meeting people, seeing people, feeling like he had a purpose again. You can't get that from an internet connection. And I think that's a good point. Q Anonymous says the Steel Toe White Power Hour helped sway Cracker Barrel back to their old logo. I think that it might have been Numero Uno Josh Denny fan that brought this, he might have been right about the whole Cracker Barrel, the whole thing the whole time, because he said this is going to be like a new Coke deal. They're going to piss a bunch of people off, bring it back, and then do better business. Vodka Rock says scrap all this multi-gender shit and trans bathrooms in sports. I hope so. I hope they do. I hope we realize that not just from this shooting, but from a lot of different evidence, this isn't working and we need to go down a different road. That's all. Sam Show says Japan just arrested a guy who was serial killing girls because he wasn't getting pussy. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Cocktiff says, fuck it. It will be the white man's fault. Bigots and racists caused this. Right, Hollywood? I mean, I don't think it's that necessarily. I think it's really more when it turns out it's a trans person, they just bury it and go away. It's like, why don't we keep talking about this? Why don't we keep exercising this muscle and see what we can find out? But we're scared that it'll hurt our agenda. That's why tonight I want to make sure that you guys know there's no agenda. I hate to use this phrase, but it's a total safe space. Say whatever the fuck you want. And I'll try to, even if I disagree with it, I'll try to play devil's advocate and expound on it. Peen Wienerstein says, how about anyone can be armed anywhere instead of painting a target on the one security guard at the entrance? I'm for constitutional carry. Will it work? Is it a good thing? I don't know. I just know that I'm for constitutional carry. If the Constitution is your permit to carry. The Pants Maestro says they should play Aaron screaming on a video board outside school so crazies know the school is an ally. Well, you know, we do have a new $50 drop, and it is the drop of me finding out that Adam Thielen came back to the Vikings. If you guys drop in $50, you get this one from now on. Oh
yeah, why would you call him gay?
Oh, my God!
Why would you?
Holy shit! Holy shit! That's our new $50 drop. I feel like you get your money's worth on that one. Coltrane says, I have 2 young kids in school, one in 2nd grade, one in pre-K, and it makes me uncomfortable. But I still don't see firearms as the issue. People have no interactions with real people anymore. That's a great point. Somebody wrote in, they said this person was probably on Reddit. Yeah, and Discord, and probably way too much. Any antisocial behavior makes it easier to do this shit. That's just a fact. And I think the more you connect with people, the harder it is to do something like this. Vadam says, prayers and thoughts to my Catholic brothers and sisters that got shot by a crazy Jew. All right. Vadam with $5 says, thoughts and prayers to all the families and victims that were injured and killed. Yeah, I believe it's 2 dead and 17 wounded. Yes, sir. Anonymous says, has hashtag poll found the Troons Reddit account yet? I'm sure they will. Vodka Rock says, release the journals right away. Show what the sick bastard was writing about. I have a terrible feeling that that this story's going to disappear. And it's unfortunate, but I feel like this story is going to disappear pretty quickly just because of the political implications of what happened. It's a Catholic school, faith-based. You got children. They were praying. Transgender shooter. It's unfortunate because I feel like there's a lot we can learn from this and a lot we can know how to adjust. But when one side's in charge of getting the message out there, they're going to shut that down as hard as they can. The problem with that is then the other side is going to go way too hard in the paint in the other side. And instead of being empathetic or trying to figure out how to fix this, they'll just go, that shows you that the trans are in fucking control. And it's just locking down this information is going to cause people to go, it's a conspiracy, and they're going to get more angry and they're going to go after people. And I'm not totally sure that that's not what they want. Mecca Jones says nowadays people would film a gifting stranger and create a drama out of it. Hey, maybe. Harry Ball says we protect our politicians with guns, our public servants with guns, our famous with guns, our kids, nothing of consequence. That is a fair point. Real Jacks 2 says just got here. Not sure what's really going on, but how's it going, Toe? I got 3 kids that are going back to school very soon here, and a story like this really takes the wind out of my sails. And I think the only way to deal with it is head on and let you guys vent and let you guys talk about it tonight. And hopefully we get somewhere with it. Hopefully we figure some stuff out. Vadam says transgenderism is a mental illness. I do agree with that. How's it treated? I think a lot of this stuff is treated through addressing, unprocessed childhood trauma. But are we going to do that? I mean, not a lot of people can afford therapy. It's not cheap. Not a lot of people can afford to do that. So I don't know. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan says, Vodka Rock, what the fuck do you mean release the journals? People already have translations of them out there. Luxray Luxer says, that's way better than Olbermann. Now I'm sad I missed it this morning. Well, throw us $50 and I'll play it for you again, my man. Ryobi says, Kiwi Farms already has the information archived. As always, Poll and Kiwi Farms had it first. I mean, they're fucking autistic as all hell. They will get it. Sam Show says, it's not the SSRIs. That's such a cop-out. They're used to treat an already mentally ill person. That's fucking retarded. I don't disagree with him there. I think a lot of these antipsychotic meds, you're putting them into people who are already a problem with or without them. Atomic Ray says, however, I think putting them on that medication and then not following it up with therapy is a big mistake. Atomic Ray says, I blame the American healthcare system. It is time to ban all cessation and transition drugs from society and go back to LSD and beer. Or, just wigs and tucking your sack back. Chad Buzamok says, is there a chance this venting segment is being used to cover for Aaron drinking with the neighbor and no show prep? No, I have a shitload of stuff. It's just that if I go into Offset going in off on a rant about how he hates marriage and tells young men that they shouldn't get married, I don't know how appropriate that is with the stuff that's going on now. I just figure I would let everyone vent and then I'd go into the stuff that I have prepared. The reason the venting segment is going to be so good and people will enjoy it so much is because I do have a shitload of stuff prepared and I can go to it whenever this slows down. Angelica's doll says, were you day drinking again because it's nice out? No, more because my buddy was done with work. It was very nice out. I did go outside for a little bit to listen to some Adam Thielen trade coverage. But my neighbor was done with work. I invited him over, and then we had a couple of beers, and off we go. Small Town MN Gal says, what's it going to take for people to open their damn eyes and admit there is a serious mental health problem in the trans community? Something has to change. We really need psych hospitals again. Look, I don't think it's even debatable anymore that transgenderism is a mental health issue. But unfortunately, until they want to address it as such, it's not going to be addressed as such. And that's the easiest way I can put it, is that when it comes to what we do with the whole transgender issue, until the trans community is on board with it, there's not really a whole lot you can do. Jeff Jordan says methylene blue is also an antidepressant. It does many things and works great. Numero Uno says he's got Twitter links, Mediaite, and not the B. Now, first of all, I want to address that for a second. Yeah, I go to news sites to get news stories. I go to TMZ to get pop culture stories. I go to different Twitter pages to get stories on stuff they specialize in. I go to CNN to get news with a little more of a liberal bent. That is such a weird criticism. That's such a strange criticism to me, as he goes, he gathers news stories to talk about news stories on his show, and he goes to news outlets to get them. What an asshole. I never understood that one. Vodka Rock says homeschool. I mean, this was as close as you can get without it being homeschool. I mean, this was a private school, and it still happened. So I understand, though, at homeschool, unless your mom decides to fucking cap everybody, unless your mom goes Susan Smith or Andrea Yates, you're probably not having this happen at homeschool. Bocephus says, my uncle was a tranny, and even he would tell you trannies are not stable. Well, that's very good. Rabbi Smoothie says there isn't unless you want to go full-on North Korea. That's why the only viable option would be some form of protection. Well, there you go. You guys got your venting out. We got all caught up in the chat. If you have more to say, feel free to let us know. We got a couple of news stories on this we're going to go through. It is our last goal of the week. Thank you guys for a fun little start to tonight's show. In fact, you guys got it started last night with how much you threw in. 160 is our number. We're 88 gifted memberships away from 400. We crossed 300 this morning. Go ahead and throw in a few bucks. Let's call it a perfect week for the toe. It's our last goal of the week. And then tomorrow we've got Rumble Friday. So let's go into a few things. Number one, I wanted to point this out because it's very funny and I want you guys to sign it. It's a change.org petition, and it is from Professor Tie-Dye, and it's called Save Aaron Imholt's Longtime Co-Host. No, it's not about Johnny. It's about my double chin. They're worried that I'm going to laser off my double chin, and so they want to sign a petition to save it. Now, so far, Professor Tie-Dye is the only one who's signed it. So what I would like you to do tonight is go to change.org, type in Save Aaron Imholt or Save Aaron Imholt's Longtime Co-Host, and go and sign the petition. He wants to get to at least 5 tonight. If you guys want to save my double chin, that's the way to do it. And thank you, Professor Tie-Dye, for giving people an outlet to raise their voice and speak up on a piece of this show that they don't want to see go away. You Need Me More says, got a niece whose parents let her take hormones at age 13 to transition. Legally changed her name, too. Now at age 18, she's a girl again and has the voice of a man, dates a guy, and regrets it. You know, that's the other thing, is that we don't ever report the news stories of the large number of people who transition and regret it. You know, and again, it's the same reason why they're going to cover up this shooting story once they figured out who the shooter is, because it doesn't fit a message. It doesn't fit an agenda. And I wish we didn't even have these agendas. I wish we'd just report the stories and let the chips fall where they may. But we don't do that. Chad Buzamak says, even if you laser it off, give it a few weeks and we'll have another double chin. It's hurtful. It's very hurtful. All right, let's go into the news story updates about the shooting today. We'll get into a couple of these, and then we will move along. 160 away from tonight. Go ahead and throw in. Make this an easy one this evening. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow. Help the show grow. Help the toe grow. We want growing toes, like we have toe dicks for feet, and they can get erect. This is the Annunciation Church shooting story. We got Fox 9's update here. Some people were saying that KARE 11 was like kind of whitewashing parts of the story. I don't know how true that is. Let's see what Fox News has to say.
Good afternoon, everyone. To any of our students and families and staff watching right now, I love you. You're so brave, and I'm so sorry this happened to us today. Within seconds of this situation beginning, our teachers were heroes. Children were ducked down. Adults were protecting children. Older children were protecting younger children. And as we heard earlier, it could have been significantly worse without their heroic action. This is a nightmare, but we call our staff the dream team. And we will recover from this. We will rebuild from this. When we planned for this school year, we intentionally chose a theme from the prophet Jeremiah chapter 29, a future filled with hope. There's nothing about today that can fill us with hope. We, as a community, have a responsibility to make sure that no child, no parent, no teacher ever has to experience what we've experienced today, ever again. I need everybody to commit those words to your speech patterns, never again.
Okay. And again, tonight's not going to be about naysaying or arguing. There will be plenty of that in the next coming days. How do we do that? How do we do that? You're not going to be able to take guns away. You're not going to be able to take certain guns and make them illegal. There's no gun law you could have passed that would have stopped this. We can talk about mental health till we're blue in the face. It doesn't really seem like we want to do anything about mental health. Like all the things that could help stop or slow down things like this, we don't seem to want to do. Metal detectors make people feel uncomfortable. I would say school shootings make people feel uncomfortable. Armed security, armed police. Some people feel that that's too much. It's just, if your message is never again, then why are you stopping at certain limits or at certain topics that you won't discuss? We have had, and this is not a condemnation of any particular group, but we have had a disproportionate amount of trans mass shooters in this country. If you're saying never again, if your only, again, I'm operating from your only position is never again. Do we need to look into how we treat transgenderism in the United States? Do we need to be a little more vigilant of mental health? Do we maybe need to not push people into transitioning, but rather maybe, again, make it more of a slow psychosomatic process? Again, if you're saying never again, I don't think there's a gun control law that would have stopped it. So if it's a gun conversation you want to have, I think it's putting more guns in the hands of responsible people who can maybe neutralize a threat like this. All right, but then do you make them targets? Maybe they could just, those will be the people who get shot first. All right, do you want to talk about mental health? If you do want to talk about mental health, what particularly do you want to talk about regarding mental health? Do you want to talk about people who identify as another gender? I don't believe this country wants to have that conversation. I feel like the people who do want to have that conversation are a little worried about being called a bigot, and the people who don't want to have that conversation are people who would have to look in the mirror and realize that maybe they've advocated for something that they don't fully understand.
We lost 2 angels today. And please continue to pray for those still receiving care. We can't change the past, but we can do something about the future. There's an African proverb that says, when you pray, move your feet. So I beg you, I ask you to please pray, but don't stop with your words. Let's make a difference and support this community, these children, these families, these teachers.
Okay. I saw people today writing already, like almost before the gun smoke was cleared. And they were talking about how, you know, we should do this with guns, and we should do that with gun laws, and we should have this gun regulation and all this stuff. And it's like, guys, we don't even know fully what happened or how it happened or anything else. It's just everybody always throws their political horseshit into it the minute it happens. And that just seems so disingenuous to me.
Never again can we let this happen. I love you, Annunciation family. We're with you, and we will be stronger when this is done.
That's that's the principal from Annunciation School. And your heart goes out to him, and your heart goes out to all the families. Like I said, man, I got 3 kids that are going to school on Tuesday. And I can't imagine something happening. It's literally not something I can even imagine at this point. Professor Tie-Dye with $1. There's the change.org petition right there. Dan Vicious with $5 says, this guy isn't Catholic. We live in a fallen world. Prepare accordingly. Holy shit. I was not aware that we lived in a fallen world. I was trying to keep it maybe a little... I was trying to keep it a little positive tonight, but people have their opinions. Thank you very much, Dan Vicious. Vodka Rock says, you want to be trans, do it at home, not allowed in schools. So like Steve Buscemi and Billy Madison. I see. Cocktiff says, I can definitely see some violence towards these freaks happening. Well, if you're talking about trans people, I think that violence already does happen. But I don't think that's the answer. I think the answer is, I mean, you don't beat up or bully the mentally ill because they're not going to understand. They're not going to get the message, even if it was the right thing to do, which I don't think it is. I think the approach is, in my opinion, in how we treat someone who says, I feel like I'm the other gender. I think you have to treat an underlying issue. You have to treat an underlying problem, not the transgender issue. There's more to it than that, in my opinion. Mecca Jones says some teachers would be too unstable for guns. I agree. Not every teacher should be armed. Numero Uno says Grok is telling me that 6 cases out of over 4,400 mass shootings have been done by trans people. A lot of the high-profile ones, though, have been trans people. 4,400 mass shootings, you have to understand, a lot of those are like Chicago and D.C. shootings. In that, it's a mass shooting is declared in this country as more than one victim, more than one person shot. It's kind of like how Wisconsin says they have 16,000 lakes because they count a lake as anything that is an acre or more of water. So ponds are essentially lakes in Wisconsin. Chad Buzamak pointing out they also say move your feet, lose your seat. Well, that's a good point too, but they might argue that that's a seat you should lose. Vodka Rock says follow the science. There are only two genders. How did you ever end up hating this show? It seems like you talk in my audience's talking points, for Christ's sake. Maybe you listened to the wrong people. Numero Uno says they also say move your feet, lose your extra chins and tits. We are not going to turn tonight's show into generous, beautiful, delicious donations about move your feet and then make it subtle ways to take shots at me. I would hate that. Anonala says we don't treat it because it's a fucking mental illness perpetuated by fucking social media and subreddits hug boxing this bullshit. Report all trannies to ICE. I don't really see how that's going to help. I really don't see how that's going to help. MSO says simple solution, identify as a bulletproof vest. Oh, boy. Bapa Shab says, why are we talking about iDubbbz? Guys, try to stay with me on this. Mecca Jones says, I'd make Sykes say it is an illness again, not something to affirm. I think there's definitely mental illness. There's definitely trauma behind the rationale for identifying as trans. I do think that. Numero Uno, Josh Denny fan says, how are the high profile ones done by trans people if you're claiming the media buries those? No. Other people are saying that they're burying those. I'm saying that the shootings are very high profile at first, and then depending on the identity of the shooter, depends on how much longer the media covers it, if that makes sense. 09 Canyon says, I agree with Vodka Rock. It's like everything else. Some things that are okay at home are not okay at school or church. Like we don't wear PJs to a funeral, but it's okay at home. Well, people used to dress up like a lady and cross-dress in their spare time and go to certain bars and shit. But that's the key, right? They went to certain bars and shit. They went out in public. They socialized with people. Nomo with $1 says, keep your Gary up, buddy. That's not going to catch. That's not going to take hold. The Gary thing. Telling you right now. Atomic Ray says this particular school shooting can be nipped in the bud by making transgenderism through government funding illegal. And while we are at it, cut the money to women programs nobody can fix. Stupid. Sam Show saying we're talking about iDubbbz because iDubbbz is trans. Oh, I see now. I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware. Pants Maestro says Johnny is trans. Makes sense. I missed it. Numero Uno says, speaking of shooters, why don't we know everything about the kid who may barely have scratched Trump's ear? Well, probably because he was a stooge for BlackRock. And that was totally an inside job. One man's opinion. NF Cap says, I think it's stupid when Christians say things like, this can never happen again. We shouldn't allow it. The Bible says we should expect persecution, even death, and still be joyful in Christ. Wow. That's true. It does say that. Rabbi Smoothie says, are we talking about trans fats? No, pretty soon. Chad Buzamak says, you named your chins Gary. I would have assumed ball catchers if naming them. I didn't name my chins shit. This was Professor Tie-Dye's work. I had absolutely nothing to do with it. Has anyone else felt the need to sign the... Oh, yes, it's up to 2 signatures now. 2 signatures for the Save Aaron Imholtz longtime co-host, the Save Aaron's Double Chin, change.org petition. Just type in Aaron Imholtz, or Save Aaron Imholt in change.org, and I'm sure you will find it. Thank you so much. 155 away from tonight's goal. Go ahead and help us knock it out. We do appreciate your generosity. Just a few bucks at a time, we'll do it. This next clip, we don't know. We're not quite to that clip yet. We got some information about the shooter here. We'll go over that. Then we'll go back to you guys for tonight. Redux broke the news earlier today that the Annunciation Catholic school shooter is a trans-identified male named Robin Westman. Prior to the shooting, Westman uploaded videos to YouTube showing weapons, including a magazine painted with the text, "Fuck everything that you stand for." Well, that's a broad generalization, if you ask me. The manifesto included pride flags and a gun with "Kill Trump" etched into it. Rip and tear, kill Donald Trump, defend equality, also for the children, and where is your God? And then a lot of ha-ha-ha's. Yeah, this is probably a Redditor for sure. Oh, my God, look at this. Carol Levin has taken down their report. You guys weren't kidding.
Hey, Cece,
oh, no,
yeah.
There it is. You guys lied to me. They didn't take down their report.
Multiple law enforcement sources have confirmed to Kara Levin that the shooter is a 23-year-old named Robin Westman. Robin formerly went by Robert, that's what we're being told, grew up in Richfield, and we've also learned that his mother had some connection to the school or church and worked there. That may be the connection between the shooter and that location. That's what law enforcement sources are telling us. Again, we have confirmed that the shooter in this case is named Robin Westman, and it was a 20.
Now, this guy keeps saying he going to get in trouble because wasn't it Robin like becoming a woman, not Robin becoming a man? So I think this guy might have been misgendering. Honestly, we're not too far away from that being the real crime here. Now, also, court records confirm that Robert Westman at the time of name change identified as a woman and changed his name to Robin to reflect his new identity as a woman. So they got the paperwork there. McVeigh was written in addition to the threat against Trump. So McVeigh, kill Trump now. There was also bowl-pilled. I don't know what that means. Fuck optics. Cute. Take this, all of you, and eat. Oh, that's a Catholic reference. Israel must fall. Uh-oh. Now I sense some of my audience going, well, the shooter wasn't all that bad the whole way. Like Sam's show's starting to turn a little bit. Israel must fall like a phoenix. We rise from the ashes. 6 million wasn't enough. Not sure exactly what they're referencing there. I'm the woker baby. Why so queerious? Haha. It's always funny when they're going to blow their head off and they write jokes in there. He also had a gun target with Jesus's face. I mean, that particular guy, I feel like he's been through enough. In his last video, he mentioned Brandon Herrera, a prominent gun tuber, and SHOT Show, a massive annual gun show demonstrating a deep interest in the firearms industry. I feel bad for this Brandon Herrera guy. Brandon Herrera just going out, just making his gun videos, going about his business, and all of a sudden a mass shooter goes, yo, big ups Brandon Herrera, and you're Brandon Herrera, you're getting text messages, you're like, let me look this up. Oh, fuck. Why me? I didn't. He also hated equity firm BlackRock. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. This story really isn't going to be around tomorrow, is it? 6 million wasn't enough. Kill Donald Trump. Trans. Fuck BlackRock. I mean, there's enough here to piss off left-wingers and right-wingers. Yeah, they're definitely going to bury this one in the corporate media. They had anarchist leanings. That doesn't surprise me. Wore pigtails. I don't see how that's relevant. Relevant. Can someone draw me a picture of a relevant? And had unicorn and Trantifa stickers on his manifesto notebook. Christ. Oh, we got some criminal background checks, notice of hearing granting a name change. Okay, this was back in 2019. In his farewell letter, he told his family he was sorry. He said he was afraid of dying of cancer and was suicidal. Afraid of dying? Did they have cancer, or were they just generally afraid of dying of cancer? Either way, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that this person was a bit of a weirdo. People are saying Brandon is a good guy. Leave Brandon Herrera out of this. Yeah, that pissed some people off. They do not want Brandon Herrera's name being dragged into the mud. Yankee says Brandon is running for office again in Texas. Ooh. Talk about bad timing. Shit. So yeah, this was a remarkably troubled human being. This is someone who was really fucked up. You can make it about mental illness, you can make it about trans, you can make it about all that. I think definitely what's going on in the old noggin is a big it's a big common factor in a lot of these shootings. It's a serious mental illness problem, and we let a lot of mental illness run around unchecked in this country, that's for sure. 155 away from tonight. Go ahead and throw in a couple of bucks. Getting under 150 by 7 o'clock is fine with me. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. Throw in your opinions. Throw in a couple gifted memberships. We do appreciate it. Nomo says, a relevant never forgets and stays up with current events. Oh, here we go. Relevant. I said one thing. I said relevant. And here we are. Hobo chili recipe. It says it's a retarded elephant is irrelevant. Okay. When it blows its trunk, it goes, "Ah!" It's not nice. It's not nice. Apologize, Aaron. I'm sorry. This is the last clip we have on the shooting tonight. Again, if you guys have your thoughts, you have your opinions, go ahead and let them be known. Chime in. And we're excited to hear from you. And throw in a couple of bucks, hit our final goal of the week, and hopefully we can call this a perfect week for the toe. This one's really tragic. This is a little boy. Thank God he lived. Thank God he's okay. He's telling the story of how one of the older students sacrificed himself to save this child. I'm not saying the person who laid on top of him died. I have no idea. I'm just saying somebody was willing to put their own safety in harm's way to protect this fifth grader.
What happened with him? Is he okay?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be okay. And then my friend, he was like laying on top of me, like making sure I was safe, and he got hit. So that was really brave of him.
And you have a nick on your neck?
Yeah, I don't even know what it's from. Kind of looks like debris or something.
But that came from during this?
Yeah.
How are you feeling? You seem pretty put together here, but it's got to be tough.
Yeah, I'm just like confused.
Yeah, he's fucking in shock. He hasn't processed any of this stuff. Jesus Christ. In fact, I don't even know if it's smart to be sticking a microphone in an 11-year-old's face in this moment. I mean, the kid clearly still hasn't grasped exactly what's going on here, which is too bad. It'll hit him eventually, but I mean, just for a kid to have to be able to talk about something like this, for somebody that age, I mean, they're not supposed to be talking about things like that. You know, they're not supposed to be experiencing things like that. And the fact that this person went through a school and started shooting people because they were going through some shit. And now you look at all the lives, not just the 2 lives they've affected by killing them or the families that they've affected by killing their family members, but also just the people that were there for this and had to go through this terrifying experience of wondering whether or not they were going to live or die. And now children have to try and process that somehow. It's so, like, you talk about, it just seems so daunting because you talk about, well, what do we do to make sure this never happens? I don't fucking know. And a lot of people are really afraid to say that. They're afraid to, and I think that's where a lot of the anger and the fighting and the emotion comes out, is a lot of people's honest answer to what do we do about this to make sure it doesn't happen again is, I don't know. I don't know a gun law you can pass. I don't know a restriction you can pass. I don't even know what kind of treatment of the identity of trans you can pass to make this stop, because the overwhelming majority of trans people don't do shit like this. You can talk about, oh, well, we need mental health awareness. Okay, yeah, but the government can't do that. That has to be a voluntary thing. I mean, essentially, we have to be better human beings. You know, we always wait for somebody else to do our work for us. We always wait for somebody else to make the changes that we think need to be made, when in reality, all of us swimming in opposite directions have to make the correct change. Because, like, even if you arm teachers, they're not going to be, you know, that's not going to make a difference until someone is there at school with a gun ready to kill people. And that's traumatic as it is. So how do we stop being the country where people fucking shoot each other at schools? I don't know. I don't know how you address something like this. Harry Balls says the BlackRock scribble shouldn't be overlooked. They don't like BlackRock, that's for sure. Brian says shock therapy. I don't know if shock therapy is the way to go either. Chad Buzamok says lock everyone in their house and everything is online. Boom, solved. Yeah, but you understand, if we put everybody online and lock them in their house, if they ever find the key to that lock, everybody's dead. That's all I'm going to, it's a really high-risk solution, is all I'm saying. Nomo says it also read release the list. Is that true and they're not reporting it, or are you just blowing smoke up your ass? Or up our ass? What are you trying to say? All right, guys, throw in a few bucks. Make me feel calm. Make me feel good. It's our final goal of the week. We've got Rumble Link Friday, Thursday coming up tomorrow. Do me a favor, a couple of bucks here and there. We're 160 away. We've made a whopping $10 in our first hour today. Oh, wait, no, 155. We've made a whopping $15 in our first hour today. Thank you very, very much. But keep that going, knock that out, and call it a perfect week for the toe. Oh, I'm so glad that Chad Buzamok is back and he's doing better and he's, working on getting over the loss of his dog. It looks like he's back to his clipping duties. This one says, clip as requested by Aaron Imholt of his manifesto. Now, I don't have a manifesto. I never said on the program tonight that I had a manifesto. Let's find out what the fuck he's talking about. I'm the woker baby. Why so queerious? I'm the woker baby. Why so queerious? I'm the woker baby. Why so queerious? I was reading that from the gun, from the writings that were on the gun of the shooters. And honestly, I think our audience knows this. I think our audience is aware that that's the case, and they're not falling for any of this deceitful propaganda. Again, in my humble opinion. Oh my God, I'm spilling shit. I'm falling apart. There's no money coming in. What the hell am I doing? Jesus. Somebody said to find Brandon Herrera's statement on the shooting on Twitter, that Brandon Herrera had something to say about, because again, the shooter referenced Brandon Herrera and basically said, I'm a really huge fan of this Brandon Herrera guy, which is an asshole move to pull. Like, especially if you're going to blow your head off, you're going to be like, you're going to shoot a bunch of kids, and then as soon as the smoke settles, before you shoot yourself, you go, shout out Brandon Herrera, bang! And it's like, whoa! Now this poor guy's in the middle of a political campaign. Now he's got to address all this. This is what Brandon Herrera had to say. I will not, nor will I ever say the name of the gutless coward who decided to take the lives of innocent people in Minneapolis today. Oh, afraid to say the name of a trans person, are we? My heart goes out to the families of those affected, but to the shooter, I have one thing to say in response. Fuck you, burn in hell. People say I treat my fans poorly. I don't really know if we're going to, I don't know if we're going to win many votes from crazy, psychotic trans people that way. I mean, with all this anti-trans talk that you've got going on. Roots Calhoun says, when I off myself, I'm going to scream, I did it for the toe. And you know what? We'll probably make a whole morning show out of it. We'll have some fun. We'll make some Jello molds and we'll go, that's probably what Root's brain looked like before he did. We'll try to honor you. Papa Shab says, Aaron Imholt of Steel Toe Radio told me to do it. Now, see, I don't. That's going to be like when one of those guys like that JMO guy ends up like shooting up a place, he's going to do that just to make me look like shit. That dirty, devious bastard, I tell you. He does have the eyes. He has psychotic eyes that just don't move. He's a creepy fuck. Brian says, we hit the goal. Boom. No, we're not. There's not going to be any goal talk during a shooting or anything like that. None of that is necessary. Jesus Christ. Jesus. How about throw a few bucks in with some of those chats? Let's so all of us can have a good time. Click the links on PayPal, Streamlabs, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. 155 away from tonight. I hope we can hit. Oh, my goodness gracious. We're pushing 300 for tonight. Thank you for the little bounce back from yesterday. Appreciate that. So we have a lot of other shit to get to this evening. We got a lot of people sounding off on the shooting. I think that's wonderful. I hope everybody feels heard. I do want to figure out how we're going to figure out this whole goal thing for tonight. It's been slow going all week. We have been able to barely eke out every single one of them. Let's get moving for this evening. Oh, man, I'm just tired of all this bad news that I keep going over. But I feel like this one's going to get you guys worked up. You guys, we've had a lot of stories about what's going on in Britain lately. And what's been going on in Britain lately is they have not been having a good go of it with assimilation. It seems to be that there's some culture clash going on in Britain. And also, they're having this issue with a lot of the native Britons want to enforce their culture. They want to celebrate their culture. A lot of the authorities are taking down their flags, saying that that's racist. But then you also have very progressive white people in Britain who say, hey, you guys are just racists. You're just bullies. Let's give these people a chance. In fact, one of these people was a brave mother of three who said, you know what? I think a lot of these immigrants are getting a raw deal. I think a lot of these immigrants are just victims of racism. And if one of these white Brits would just be nice to them, we might be able to see things turn around. Well, she decided to house a homeless migrant in her home. And, investigators found Adams face down in her bathroom with a black garbage bag over her head and a pillow placed on top of that. She was smashed in the skull at least 10 times, both from behind and from the side, on February 9th. She was hit 10 times with a mallet. See, they don't need guns there in Britain. They're creative. Neighbors in Hammersmith, where homes consistently sell for over $1 million. So a very wealthy liberal who decided that, all these migrants need is a nice, clean bed and they'll be okay. You hate to see someone have to learn that way. But, if you're a liberal, you're not supposed to be doing that anyway. If you're a liberal, if you're a wealthy liberal, you're supposed to be putting those people in like welfare housing somewhere else far away from you. You're not supposed to be, it's, what do they call it? NIMBY, not in my backyard. That's how you're supposed to be. The neighbors were shocked over the grisly murder, with one reporting they heard screams coming from Adams' property. Apapale Adum was the name of the migrant who killed this woman. Adum was arrested while attempting to break back into the Hammersmith apartment, telling police he was there to reclaim his belongings. So, sorry, guys, just want to go in there and get my shit. Oh, wow, she doesn't look so good. What happened here? London cops said he was in possession of the murder weapon when he was arrested. Bravo. I mean, I do have a weird level of respect for liberals who say, and I maybe it's not respect, or maybe I just respect the honesty. Like, they'll interview people on the streets and they'll be like, will you house a migrant? And they'll be like, oh, I think migrants should be welcome to come to the United States. We should help refugees. All right, would you let one stay with you? Well, it's very crowded. Our home is remarkably crowded. We have kids, stuff like that. The migrants wouldn't like it at our house. The kids get up awful early and, you really don't get that good of a night's sleep. And I think they'd be better off somewhere else, like, the poor end of town. But this woman let one in. I'll give her credit for that. She put her money where her mouth was, and then he put a mallet there. I'm not saying that you got to kick out the people that are already there. That's up to Britain, whatever they want to do. But I think you've got enough. Again, I'm not saying you got to kick anybody out. That's their home, whatever. But I don't think you need to be bringing any more in. It seems like the assimilation route is taking a little bit longer. Hulkamash with $1 says, okay, you want your conspiracy brain to get working? This shooter shouts out Brandon, and the Trump shooter was wearing a demo mat shirt. Two of the biggest gun tubers out there. Sounds like a pay-op to me. Oh, you're saying that they're going after the big gun tubers. That maybe the big gun tubers are we need to shut these channels down because it encourages. Okay. $5 from Small Town MN Gal says there needs to be more in-depth medical process with trans people. They can afford the meds and surgeries. They can afford to go through the necessary steps. There just has to be many more psych steps. I don't disagree with you. Uh-oh, did I lose connection with my YouTube chat? Hooters Girl with $1 says you're missing many YouTube donos. If I did, I'm really, really sorry. Oh my God, I did. Holy shit, I am so sorry, you guys. Oh, man. Comfortably Numb with $9.99 says, have some money, Toe. Thank you very much, buddy. It turns out you guys have been doing great tonight. I feel bad. My chat disconnected and it never came back. Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says, this guy shows us the transgenders' weightings. $2 from CJ says, FBI says pew-pews equals 4+ wounded. Used to be 3+. Used to be 3+. Okay. CJ with $2 says trans pew-pew incidents are highest per capita. Okay. Hunter with $10 says we need to acknowledge that we live in a society where the government cannot or will not protect our children and accept that we have to step up. Too many people are in denial of that fact. Hunter also with another $5 says the answer is private, well-trained security, not rent-a-cops or teachers. So, mercenaries, essentially. Jack Brennan with $10 says, did you hear about the tragedy in Minneapolis? All those people lived. I did say whatever you want, didn't I? K Fallen the Great with $2 says, another win for the Toe and then shooting. No, do not yet. First of all, don't engage in mass shootings. Don't commit those. But certainly don't yell out another win for the Toe. No. Fake radio show LOL with $1.99 says, you coming around to SP under Pitbull? Why breasts? What does that mean? Why breasts? Mine? Well, because I don't do enough crunches and I don't take care of myself. Myself. Dog is beautiful. It's a bright boy. It's a brave, big boy. Just don't stick your hand in its mouth. That's all. Chad Buzamok says, clipping it. Do you need to? Do you need to clip it? Do you need to? I don't think it's necessary. I really don't. By the way, Chad Buzamok was also telling Hooters Girl that they should have waited until the end of the show to tell me about these super chats that I was missing. I'm really sorry to the YouTube people. It turns out the audience has been crushing it so far. Goal-wise, thank you very much for that, and I apologize for not getting to those earlier. 1:15 away from tonight's goal because Ryan the Garbage Man with $5 says, I could never K myself. My work isn't finished annoying people. By the way, got any grapes? $2 from Matthew Q says Digger and Johnny read stuff from his journal earlier today. You guys want to do some journal reading? I suppose. We could do some journal reading if you want to. Sick digital trail exposed. Okay, so we do have some information from Black Scout Survival about the internet trail of the shooter. Let's take a look. 115 away from tonight's goal. That's actually remarkably good. Thank you guys very much. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. Remember that new $50 drop. Let's break that bad boy in. All right, let's see.
Guys, breaking news. Minneapolis, a Catholic school, children in the pews for mass, and a shooter opens fire through the windows. 2 children killed, more than a dozen wounded, and the attacker ends his own life. But here's the part you won't get from the mainstream press, and this wasn't just random. The shooter...
Anytime a guy, and this is my prejudice, anytime a guy with a southern accent goes, and this you won't hear from the mainstream press, I always just kind of assume that it's bullshit. But that's my bias.
Left behind a digital trail, a manifesto, YouTube videos, scribbled weapons with phrases like to take out Donald Trump and where's your God. It all points to something bigger. Okay. And let's talk about what happened. The attack went down at an Annunciation Catholic Church school in Minneapolis. The shooter brought a rifle.
How much of this do I have to? How much do I have to play? Can I go ahead and I'm going to go forward a little bit.
Flipping through a manifesto showing his guns and repeating different things. Here's some pictures of his magazines here. Right. And he was chanting, I want to kill, want to kill, want to kill, want to die, da, 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 da. Now, again, his
we got to do something. It's not just harmless to take people who want to transition and just go, oh, okay, well, you need to be proud of who you are, and we need to embrace that. No, there's underlying mental health problems there. Let's get that addressed. Let's do therapy. Let's deal with all that. And then if you're still transgender after that, we can have that conversation. But something tells me if we address the underlying mental health problems with the trans identity, I think that identity goes away. I think these are anxious kids. I think these are awkward kids. I think these are depressed kids. And I think if we address that part, the trans part goes away. I believe that transgenderism is a coping mechanism for other problems.
Magazines covered it with phrases like, where's your God? Why so curious? Queerious? Rest in peace and terror. He posted diagrams of the church.
All right, this guy's just going to... It's a 20-minute long video. If you guys... thank you for sending this in. I do appreciate it. But if you could find a little more condensed form or some timestamps, I would appreciate that, and we'd be very happy to take a look at it. Thank you guys very much for your contributions. 115, again, is our number for tonight. Oh, man. Let's take a look. Why is Rumble so gay? It takes forever to freaking connect. I apologize for that. I will talk to Rumble. What did Crowder Wears Panties do? They want him to suck a fucking dick, and that's a quote. I missed something in the chat. What did Crowder Wears Panties do? Hooters Girl says, Crowder Wears Panties, go suck another dick. Now, the allegation there is that Crowder Wears Panties has sucked a dick before. If you're saying you'd like them to suck another dick. Crowder Wears Panties writes, wow, Hooters Girl made herself useful for once. Very cool, Hooters Girl. Oh, see, now we're fighting. It's not what I wanted for this audience. I didn't want people upset at one another. Crowder Wears Panties says, LOL, I just said good job. What the fuck? It did sound a little shitty. It sounded a little trans, if I may. Crowder Wears Panties says, typical woman. I don't think that's going to help. That's not what we call productive, my friend. $1 from Redbird says if you dig deep enough, almost all trans children were molested, often by the people pushing them to transition. Shit. I don't know how much of that is true. What percentage of I should say people are molested? Rates of SA against transgender people are significantly high. Studies showing figures as high as 47% experiencing SA in their lifetime, and nearly half of trans, non-binary, and gender non-conforming people experience SA. Specifically, some research indicates around 47% of all trans people have experienced SA, with higher rates among certain groups like trans and non-binary youth and those who are economically struggling or people of color. Well, you can say a lot of things, but you weren't lying. That is accurate. Well, shit. All right, continue on. I know they're all fighting in the chat now. Crowder wears panties and everybody else. The fight is usually about who's the bigger asshole or who's gayer or whatever. Let's go ahead and change gears away from school shootings. Let's also make $100 or so in the next hour and 10 minutes. And then I'll be a happy boy. And we can call it a perfect week for the toe, and we can go into Rumble Friday, Thursday, feeling really good about ourselves. Thank you guys very much. Just probably 2 more of those rallies you just did, and we'll be home free. We got another update in the Hulk Hogan issue, the Hulk Hogan story. We still don't know if they're going to look into whether or not the doctors caused this. I mean, I guess maybe you'd have a lawsuit on your hands. I mean, if you found out that it was medical malpractice that killed Hulk Hogan. The only thing that worries me about this story, the big thing that worries me about this, is that I wonder how many times doctors have fucked up with people, and because nobody knew, nobody ever found out. Like it's not like the doctors came out and just said, oh yeah, no, turns out we helped kill Hulk Hogan. You know, something happened where somebody looked into it and they found out there was a problem with the operation. It wasn't the doctors that actually performed the operations. It wasn't the surgeons who came forward and said, oh, it's eating me up inside. I think I might have helped kill the Hulkster. They had to go back and watch the tape and find out that the doctors fucked up. Brooke Hogan let us know that Hulk's body is still intact. He has not been cremated. So if they wanted to do the autopsy thing, they could do the autopsy. Brooke Hogan, his daughter, says that she knows that his body's still intact. She still has questions surrounding the circumstances of his death, whether opioids may have been a factor or there was maybe some foul play. But she has confirmed that if they want to do the autopsy, they still can because Hulk has not been put in the oven yet. What are you going to do, man? What you going to do? I mean, if you find out the doctors did do something wrong, if you don't plan on suing the doctors for it, what's the point other than, causing more pain? Prolonging the grief, so to speak. The wife can ask. Brooke can't ask. The wife is the only one that can ask for the autopsy. And so far, she really hasn't said much of anything. Gurmy says, I thought they already did an autopsy. No, they haven't. They have not done an autopsy at all. People are saying, oh my God, I bet he's fucking smelly. I bet you he smells fucking terrible by now. I'm pretty sure not only do they have him embalmed and preserved, but I'm sure wherever he is, he's like cold. Like they're keeping him cool. They're preserving him, He's like that jar of French onion dip in your fridge, Even though you bought it a couple weeks ago, it's still probably in pretty decent shape. So don't worry about the Hulkster. The Hulkster's doing okay. Well, as okay as you can do. He's not rotting and stinking and smelling or anything like that. But it looks like Brooke can confirm that he's still in one piece, so he's intact where he is whole. That much we can be sure of. However, there are no plans as of yet to do an autopsy on the Hulk. I did finish, on a side note, I did finish the WWE Unreal series on Netflix. Really good. I highly recommend it. Ryobi says, what you gonna do when I'm rotting here and smelling up you, brother? That's, you definitely don't want a weekend at Bernie's, the guy. It's, just keep him in the freezer. Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says, Aaron, did you see that BlackRock buying Minnesota Electric Company? Google it. And block Rick I buying Walgreens. I think he means BlackRock is buying Walgreens. Well, thank you for that $4.99, Red Fox Matt. I do appreciate that. We are currently 110 away from tonight's goal. Go ahead and knock it out. Help us out. We appreciate that. BlackRock, let's take a look. Anyone who gives us money gets special treatment. BlackRock Minnesota Electric Company. Oh, no, you misunderstood. You see, BlackRock was playing Monopoly with Governor Walz, and they ended up buying the electric company for $75. BlackRock. Okay, that didn't work. Purchasing. BlackRock's, wow, he's not lying. No mainstream news articles on it. That's weird. Private equity shops have earned outsized returns on investments in healthcare, telecommunications, and housing, with mixed results for consumers. That means BlackRock is buying up all these services, jacking up prices, and fucking us over. Now they may be running the same playbook on the once sleepy utility business, with BlackRock's proposed takeover of the parent company of Duluth-based Minnesota Power as a key test case. You know, BlackRock gets involved in the housing market. The price of houses go through the roof. It's unaffordable for the middle class. Everything BlackRock touches turns into either a presidential assassination or pricing working class people out of the marketplace, almost like that's their goal, to destroy the middle class of the United States and crush generational wealth production and inheritance. Oh, we're definitely on the back end of the empire, aren't we? The public filings in the hotly contested matter show ratepayer advocates, labor unions, environmental groups, and major customers of Minnesota Power on different sides of the issue. At the heart of the matter is a simple question. Jews. No. Is it a good or a bad thing for the world's largest asset manager to have a controlling stake in a regional utility? Look, man, I'm just going to play the odds on this one, and I'm going to say that it's a really fucking bad idea. A private equity buyout of the electric utility serving large swaths of northern Minnesota could weaken its finances and jeopardize its compliance with Minnesota's carbon-free power standard. Okay, what's the good news? While raising rates and reducing flexibility for more than 150,000 customers. Uh-oh. So is there a but? Because I don't see a but. Private equity giant BlackRock, the Canadian Pension Plan Investment Board, and Minnesota's Power's parent company clapped back. Oh, a clapback. It's like a black lady. On August 4th, in a detailed rebuttal, they called the judge's non-binding report, quote, not an accurate or balanced summary or analysis of the record, and said it does not even attempt to provide a meaningful discussion of the evidence, arguments, and counter-arguments. Okay, could you guys provide some of those counter-arguments, though? Because it seems like so far all they're doing is going, look, you guys are going to take this over. You're going to jack up the prices. You're the world's largest private equity firm. This could be really bad for the small working class people here of Duluth. How would you like to respond to that? Nuh-uh. Okay, cool. What are you going to do? Don't fucking buy stuff? The private equity industry has cultivated a reputation for being a very extractive actor in the marketplace, said Carly Weinman, Research and Communications Manager for the Energy and Policy Institute. We know that the playbook is to quote-unquote streamline these companies, so this is a fearsome prospect for workers and consumers. Yeah, because streamline means fire a fuckload of people. What streamlining means when somebody takes over a company is, Yeah, I think we can save a shitload of money by just cutting people loose who have worked here for 15, 20 years and support their families with this job. Yeah, do whatever you can to make sure BlackRock can't buy anything else ever again, please. They haven't done a good job with our housing market. They're not going to do a good job with our electricity. So they'll own the homes, and then they'll own the power that goes to the homes. So eventually BlackRock can be like the Israelis in the Gaza Strip and just shut our power off when we get uppity enough. Good. Thank you, Red Fox Matt, for sending that in. I'm not going to have bad dreams about that at all. Thank you. It's wonderful. All right, guys, we are 110 away from tonight's goal. Go ahead and throw in, make it another win for the toe tonight. Make sure we can get this thing knocked out and be feeling good. Be feeling good about the end of the week as we head into Rumble Link Friday, Thursday tomorrow. This is the last $100 we need to make, and we have an hour to do it. Please, if you feel like throwing in, be generous with this program. We do appreciate your support. It's the only way we keep this program on the air. Hey, this next clip we have is of the rapper Offset. Now, Offset was married to Cardi B. They got divorced. It was a pretty nasty divorce. There was a lot of on again, off again. It was it was hood. It was pretty hood. I believe they have at least one child together. And I want you guys to tell me, based on this clip, if you think Offset is still bitter about the divorce. And be honest. How do you think Offset is dealing with being a divorced man in his 20s or 30s? Let's take a look.
So you said you'd never get married again, you think?
No.
Why not?
It's not for me.
No? Why not?
I've done it. Had 3 kids with it. It's like a mission that's been complete.
But you would never want to be like...
You know, I got to be honest with you guys. This is exactly the attitude that I should have towards marriage. I've done it. I've had 3 kids. Mission accomplished. I got married. You know, for me, it's a couple of times. But... And I know a lot of you are in slow motion going to yell, no. But I would get married again. I'd give it another shot. Like, look, I understand what Offset's trying to say, and maybe I should agree with him. Maybe Offset and I should be simpatico on this. But I'm a hopeless romantic. I believe that, one more try. Once more into the breach, ye men, ye merry band of brothers. That's my attitude towards the whole thing. Fucked it up twice. I'll get it right the third time. I mean, I understand his checklist attitude towards marriage. Been there, done that, had 3 kids. Don't need to get married again. But that's going to be a lot of awful breakups. Like when he starts dating a woman, things get really good. And then she's like, when are we going to get married? And he's like, fuck that. I'm never getting married. And she's like, oh, shit. I should probably go. And he's like, yeah, you probably fucking should. Do you really want to keep having that conversation for the rest of your life? Come on. One more time. One more time. One more time. You can do it, buddy. I don't want to see him give up, man. That's all. I don't want to see him quit. Plus, you were kind of married to like a crazy, like Puerto Rican chick. Try a more normal one next time.
Again, married happily ever after, like this is my chick forever type shit? Never?
No. Everything's temporary.
So would you recommend marriage?
No.
Or would you tell me like, yo, don't get married?
Yeah, I'll tell you, don't get married.
Don't get married. For what?
I don't think he's over it. I think that maybe the divorce thing hit him pretty hard. I don't think he had a very good experience. I'm thinking that maybe this Offset guy is still a little bitter.
What reason?
I would say, unless you're cool with changing your life, entirely. It's good
it keeps you away from the partying for a bit. And then
Then it's
you
like,
kind
then
of
it
become
keep
lazy.
you away from some you have, like,
First of all, this is like a bling bling rapper guy telling some dorky fucking gay boy white dude. Like, you guys so don't have the same game. You guys don't have the same social life. You guys aren't the same. Don't be poisoning this nerdy white boy's head with your black party dreams, okay? He's not you. He's not going to be you. I see that guy in that gay hat and I go, that's a guy who needs to get married. He needs to settle down. He needs some direction. Offset, I look at you. I understand. I get it. You don't want to get married again. You're a little more down the line than this guy. You tried it. It didn't work. You married, kind of a crazy chick. You're jaded. Lord knows I understand. This guy's not like you. This guy needs to be, structured, if you will.
some partying you have to do in our space.
What'd you say?
Especially in my space. Like, so I got to party sometimes. I can't just shut down. They come with the career.
Yeah. Like, you got to go to Booby Trap this weekend.
Got to. I'm out. Got to go out there. Got to.
No, I feel.
That's what I mean. Like, you got a black guy and he's sitting there going, yeah, man, gotta go booby trap. Got to. And you got a white guy going, yeah, I feel you, man. You don't. But you don't. Brother, marriage is for you. Marriage is not for Offset. All right? At the very least, Offset needs a break. You, my man, you need to get married. Nomo with $1 says the only Offset I recognize is printing. I get it. Real Jacks 2 says that's every cheater. I would have gotten caught if I didn't do whatever. So they try it again and again and again. No. I didn't say I'm going to keep cheating on people. I think I got one more run in me. I'll just pick the right one this time. That's all. You guys, you feel me knocking, let me in. You all think it's a good idea. I think I got one more run left in me. I think I got one more WrestleMania moment. I got one more run on top. And I think this one will be the right one. Trust me. I got to be honest with you. I think Offset is getting a little too down. That's all. Crowder Wears Panties says you'll get married one more time and we'll be the real winners. I mean, you got to admit, I fucked up in every way a guy can fuck up. I might be out of fuck ups. I might have learned all the lessons. Maybe the third time I'll be the best husband who ever lived. Sam Show says, who was here this morning and lost 100 acres? Yeah, I assume that shit linked. What the fuck are you talking about? Real Jack says, I would be more inclined to believe you, Toe, if you still slicked your hair. I'm sorry. I apologize for not slicking my hair. Halada Fachina says, your marriage didn't work out because deep down you wanted to marry a guy. I never even said I had one more good heterosexual run in me. I just said I got one more good run left. I got one more run left to the altar, and I think I'll make this one work. Fauci's Pangolin says, at least wait till you're broke again. Oh, all right. Well, one more case. One more case and we'll get there. Crowder Wears Panties says, once a cheater, always a cheater, buddy. They say that. They keep saying, like, oh, yeah, once you're a cheater, you're always a cheater. And I'm here to tell you right now that is 1,000% total, completely true. But you should try. You should try really hard not to. You should give it your absolute best. Sam Show says, you didn't even learn marriages aren't for you. I think I got this next one. I think I just made, I made some mistakes with the first one. I made a bad choice with the second one. I think the third one, you know what? I might be the Goldilocks of getting married, which means it'll probably end with me getting eaten by a bear. But I might be the Goldilocks of getting married. First one was too soon. Other one was too stupid. Third one will be just right. I think that's the way to go, guys. What do you think? No, historically white. We're not going to go with an Asian lady boy. Brian says, what if the third one is the most unhinged of the three? Now, why are we throwing negativity into this? None of this is necessary. All right? None of this is necessary. And if you guys are telling me not to get married, and I see some of you are in the chat, it's going to take a whole lot more than a $1 donation to get me to reconsider. We're 105 away from tonight's goal. I'm going to need a lot more convincing. Aussie Mark says, I believe in love, and Aaron is going back to the polycule. No. That's not going to happen. That was a big mistake. That's a terrible fucking idea. Nobody should ever do it. It's so gay. It's so bad. 09 Canyon says, my friend is a third wife, and they are so good for each other. But her husband wasn't the cheater in the previous marriage either, so you might be screwed, Aaron. No. I'll be okay. I'll be a good boy. I will be a good boy. Like I said, I got one more run in me. You know, I'll line the hair up a little better. We'll get this gobble thing taken care of. I'll get back in fighting shape. I'll be the best damn husband I've ever been. And you've got to admit, that's a pretty low bar. Crowder Wears Panties says, straight or gay, the toes got this. Thank you, pal. Thank you. I appreciate your vote of confidence. 105 away from today's goal is Crowder Wears Panties. Gifts a membership to Small Town MN Gal. Hey, start one of those membership trains. Choo-choo. We'll get this last 105 knocked out and call it a perfect week for the toe. Small Town MN Gal on the clock. Hooters Girl with $1. Come on, guys. Add some zeros to these, and then I'll consider your opinions. Hooters Girl says, please don't. Leah with $1 says, say it with me. Prenup. Can't read it. Don't know what the fuck you're babbling about. What is that, German? Historically White says, maybe you'll be the bride this time. Look, man, I said I've got another run in me. I didn't say how it was going to work out. I don't have it all planned out yet. I'm just saying I got another run in me. Chad Buzamok says, is SP still in the running to be the third? Maybe I'll marry Christian Wyatt. You don't know. Halada Vagina says, by eaten by a bear, you mean a large gay man, right? Well, they do have strong appetites from what I hear. Trampling at the Zoo says, you should consult your father, Aaron. Yeah, but that's no fun. He'll just tell me don't. I mean, come on. Who wants to hear that shit? Someone says, be a good boy. Hey, I can be a good boy. I can be a good boy. Oz can be a house too, till we get where we're going. Then the day of the dog begins. Leah says, Chad Buzamok is asking because he wants to be the third. Thank you for the $2. Just over $100 away from tonight's goal. Keep throwing in that money. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. Chernobog says, just steer clear of internet lawyers. Well, I have so far. I don't think I've been around one who's an actual licensed attorney, so batting 1,000 on that one. Historically White says, you're not going to get a wife using Grindr. Now you tell me. Jesus. Now you tell me. Real Jacks 2 says, man, I about suffered a hernia when Aaron said he would get rid of the double chin and what have you. Laughed so hard my groin hurt. TDR Shit Show with $5 says, completely off topic. That's fine. I can get back to it. But it's great that the Vikings made it work to bring Thielen back. I am so happy that we brought Adam Thielen back. You are correct, sir. Hey, guys, we're officially at it. The century mark. $100 away from tonight's goal. I love it. Keep it moving. It's the last goal of the week. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. Give the biggest amount you can possibly give right now, and let's see how close it gets us to zero. 09 Canyon says, never get married, never have to get divorced. I love the sex part. I've proven that publicly. I got one more run in me. I'll be okay. Mr. Beat says, wait until Gino and Keanu get divorced and marry sloppy seconds Kiki. I could never do that. Not only is Gino my friend, but Keanu is fucking hideous. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. That is a complete joke. We're not going to clip that at all. Maybe I'll wait until Gino dies and I'll make a move, because then she'll be grief-stricken and she'll lower her standards. Crowder Wears Panties says, nah, Aaron, prenups are gay. Dive in head first into that hole. That's the spirit, my boy. We don't go into anything thinking it's going to fuck up. Mad Move says, been with my wife for 21 years, married for 15. If this one were to end, I would just lose everything on cocaine and hookers, a.k.a. the Imholt. Wait, no, there's not a name for it, is there? I didn't hear that there was a name for it. What the fuck? Oh, man. Fauci's Pangolin says, once Johnny gets his legs back, he'll steal all the good women from you. Maybe. But the good ones don't talk to me. Historically White says, Sean is a lawyer. I'm not fucking around with any couples or anything like that. Just put that talk out of your mind. MSO says, all you need is one more and they can begin production on ex-housewives of Aaron Imholt. It's something. It's something. Aussie Mark says the cheerleaders are really bringing fans to the Vikings. All right. Chad Buzamak, do not clip what I just said about Keanu. Why would you do something like that? Crowder Wears Panties gifting a membership. Thank you very much. We're also 85 memberships away from $495 away from tonight's goal. Thank you guys very much. Keep it going. Keep it moving. We appreciate all of your generosity. But now I say all of you, all Flood, PayPal, Streamlabs, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants, wherever you are, click one of the links. I say everybody throw in what you got. And once we all shake loose our pockets, we see how close we get to that $95 and another perfect week for the toe. I can't leave this fucking chat yet. They're too good. Chernobog says, which is more embarrassing, Jim Marshall running to the wrong goal in 65 or the male cheerleaders in 25? Male cheerleaders in 25. Jim Marshall didn't cornhole a twink after he ran the wrong way in 65. 09 Canyon says, you marry once, barring abuse, you tough it out until the end. That's what I grew up believing. Big part of why I never got married. Oh, it's good that you exercised your trauma. That's a good thing. All right, let's go ahead and check out some of the clips we've got up here. We've got a couple of them. Chad Buzamak says, clip as requested by Aaron Imholt of plans for hours before next court appearance. Okay, what do we have? When I off myself, I'm going to scream, I did it for the toe. That's not. I was reading what someone else wrote. And also clip as requested by Aaron Imholt. Someone please check on him after today's show. All right, what did I say? I have a short-term memory. First of all, engage in mass shooting, commit those, but certainly yell out another win for the toe. That is so chopped up, I don't even feel the need to respond to that one. That is so full of clips and, edits and chunks and everything else. I don't even feel like I need to address that. By God. Aussie Mark says, did I miss White Power Hour? There is no White Power Hour. We're just looking to make another $95 so we can call it another win for the toe. I did check Restream. We hit 300 for a peak tonight. That's awesome. But what I'd really like to see is that $95 goal hit and it be a perfect week for the toe. You know, I've been thinking, what are we going to do for an evening show not this coming week, but the week after that, when the Vikings play Chicago on Monday night? I'm thinking maybe a short evening show on Sunday and then another evening show on Thursday. That might be the way to go. Oh, and also tomorrow night, we are going to do a members only show. Do me a favor, whatever you'd like us to deep dive into, send it my way. We'll do it for the members only. If I don't get anything good, we will do the usual members only hangout. So become a member on YouTube, on Rumble, wherever, and let's get that done. Also, let's get that goal done. How about that? A nice goal win today. We do have an update on Psycho Stu. It turns out Psycho Stu is awake. He's communicating. He's talking to people. They released a picture recently. Who's she? There's a few of the other wrestlers with Psycho Stu. I mean, for a guy who got beat within an inch of his life, they also said that his heart stopped. He flatlined for a little bit at the event. So for a guy who was literally beaten within an inch of his life, he's looking okay. You could look worse, that's for sure. But Psycho Stu, the wrestler who stopped Raja Jackson from beating him to death, spoke with TMZ today, and he had this to say.
I'm just really upset, disturbed by all of it, disturbed by what I saw. And I want to clear something up real quick, because one of the wrestlers is getting like threats, death threats. You know, his name is KT King. He's the one who actually called the cops. And he gave a good qualified statement. Somebody screenshotted pictures and sent it to the people we did the video with. I wasn't really aware of what was all said right there, but like that information is valid, but it was hinting at the fact that there's certain people that were so unprofessional that we didn't want communicating to the police. You know, well, I'm not saying I wasn't a part of it at the time, but that's, you know, that's what he was hinting at. I don't condone violence or hate towards anybody. You know, even Raja, some of the things I'm saying, like, I felt like he was led into that. You know, the person I'm really mad at is...
You know, there are people who are saying that, like, yeah, Raja was kind of led by some of the wrestlers to think that he should lay into this guy. I don't know. You still know better than to punch a guy defenseless in the head 22 times in a row. I'm not sure I'm buying the whole, oh, you know, Raja was led a certain way and they should have told him. Yeah, they should have trained him better. Yeah, they should have taken more time with him. But I think ultimately this guy shouldn't have been anywhere near a wrestling ring. He shouldn't have been part of the promotion. He's too high-strung of a guy. It wasn't necessary.
I'm saying, like, I felt like he was led into that. You know, the person I'm really mad at is the worker that brought him. You know, to me, I feel you're responsible for if I bring a guest into somebody's house and that guest starts jumping on the couch and breaking windows, it's my job to remove that guest.
Okay, maybe, but I don't understand. So one of the workers, one of the wrestlers brought Raja Jackson and you guys just agreed to use him? That sounds like poor management as well by Knox Pro Wrestling USA. Just because some guy goes, oh, yeah, this is my friend Raja. He's an MMA guy. Can he get in the ring tonight? The easy short answer is no. The easy long answer is fuck no. You can't just bring this rando you brought here into the ring and have him put hands on wrestlers. That's not what we do here.
You know? Oh.
Where does that all stand? I know the LAPD was investigating. Do you have any idea where any sort of investigation goes? Because you get a lot of people saying that we saw what could be considered attempted murder on Saturday.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Honestly, I'm one of these people, like I believe in forgiveness. If Stu's not pressing charges, I believe that maybe they could work out a deal where he gets some mental health. If he has to spend time in jail, I hope it's very minimal.
Here's the deal, though. Like, it's not just up to Psycho Stu if they press charges. Like, if the police send it to the county attorney and the county attorney decides that the state's going to press charges, what Psycho Stu doesn't matter as much as some people think.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still at work. Yeah. You know, like, because when this guy is trying to live up to his dad's reputation, you know, he's got these big things. And then you got a guy that's supposed to, you know, be a friend. And instead of being a mentor, you know, taking him back a second and saying, hey, bud, I know you're upset. I know you're mad. I know this happened. I feel like when you have somebody that's volatile, you see his dad's relationship, see how he interacts with his dad, and you can tell clearly he's insecure. You know, he makes videos about like how he doesn't have any money, only his dad has money. Like,
right, okay. But again, this is all stuff that happened before the event. This is stuff you could have easily looked up before the event. So this idea that like it wasn't just sprung on you that this guy was a nut bar afterwards. And by the way, if you didn't look into him and you didn't know he did all this shit, then don't let him into the ring. You don't just go, oh, what, you're an MMA fighter? Oh, this other wrestler vouches for you? Let's just throw you in there with no training. That's a terrible idea. Shouldn't be allowed. $2 from Nomo says, other response from wrestler who stopped that animal. All right, let's check it out. Hey, guys, $95 away from tonight. I appreciate everything you've done this week. I appreciate everything you always do for the toe. Do me a favor and knock out in the next 40 minutes or so that last $95. We're very, very close. Whether it's Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants, I'd really like to see us close out the week with a win tonight. I would appreciate it. Please and thank you. All right, this is, this looks like the same guy. The wrestler who stopped Raja's attack gives an epic response to Raja Jackson. Now, this is the same guy we just saw.
When we're in the ring and I'm breaking it up and he shoots a fucking double leg on me, by the way, work a better fucking double leg, you fucking prick. And then I'm telling you to fucking calm down. I'm not even fucking fighting. I'm not even being fucking hostile. Then you're trying to fucking work and get lower, do this, change positions, and I'm over here having to swim with you, all this other shit. And then you fucking punch me in the fucking eye after we're breaking it up, you fucking loser. That's why you got fucking headbutt, and that's why I fucking punch you, and you're fucking lucky I was tired from the match before this. What kind of fucking person are you? You fucking low-life fucking clown. You want...
This seems like a lot different interview than the one he was given TMZ. Something tells me he was being a little professional with TMZ because he was at work, he was in front of his coworkers and everything else. That's the cool thing about indie wrestlers. Those guys, man, they don't make a lot of money. They do it for love of the game. They work day jobs and shit. And this guy seemed like he was being a lot more political with TMZ than he was being with, this little backstage interview thing he did.
Fucking clout, so you beat up a guy that's fucking half unconscious. You punch a guy that's trying to break up a fight and not even trying to fight you. I wasn't even trying to fucking hurt you. The fuck is wrong with you?
So, do you think he wanted to continue beating up Stu?
I think he would have killed him.
If you didn't stop it, right?
I promise you he would have killed him.
Yeah, that's 100% certain. Before anybody pulled Raja Jackson off of Psycho Stu, there was no indication that he was going to stop hitting him. I mean, he would have kept going until his head was mush. Who knows what was going through that boy's head at the time?
He would have killed me if he would have got the best of me. If he would have took my legs out from under me like he was trying to, he was going to do the same thing to me that he did to Stu. Clearly, you watched the stream when he's walking away. I'm tired of people fucking with me. I don't care how many times you've been fingered in your life, bro. I don't.
Okay, that's a good line. I don't care how many times you've been fingered in your life, bro. I mean, I don't know if he was indicating that he had indeed been fingered, but certainly that would be a traumatic experience.
Give a fuck. If you got a fucking problem with the fucking world and the people around you, change the fucking people around you. Change it up a little bit. Go to therapy. Get some fucking help. Don't take it out on everybody else. And then you want to train by one of the best fighters to ever fucking live, your fucking father, use his fucking clout, use his fucking knowledge, and then you want to hurt people that don't fucking train like that? You're a fucking bully. You're a bitch.
Yeah, I think this guy either had a change of heart in the last 3 or 4 days, or that maybe he was being a little more, like I said, politically correct this time around. That did seem like two different interviews that man gave. Hey, Dick Gazinia, you just got a membership gifted to you by Small Town MN Gal. Do me a favor, pass that membership on, and maybe we can start a membership train to the goal. I appreciate it, boys and girls. We're now 84 memberships away from 400. We're $90 away from tonight's goal. Let's do it, and let's call it a perfect week for the toe. We are getting closer and closer and closer and closer. Let's finish it up a few bucks at a time. I appreciate it, guys. We got about a half hour left. Let's do it. All right, Chad Buzamak with a clip. It says, as requested by Aaron Imholt in regards to one more marriage with Keanu C. Thompson. All right, let's see how you chopped this thing up, you fucking rogue butcher. Loaded Wrench with $2 says, someone pinned Stu while he was out. No way. Did somebody really pin him and end that match? That's a fucking dick move. Do not honor that 3 count. Let's see how Chad Buzamok. And guys, not only do I want you to knock out the last $90, but I want you to vehemently tell Chad Buzamok how much of a hacksaw artist he is with how he's going to no doubt butcher this clip. Mr. Beat says, wait until Gino and Keanu get divorced and marry sloppy seconds Kiki. I could never do that. I could never do that. Not only is Gino my friend, but Keanu is fucking hideous. No, wait a minute. Immediately after that, I went, no. In fact, I'm actually kind of impressed by Chad Buzamok because the way I said that, I was like, I'm not worried about him cutting that out of context because there's no possible way that guy could have chopped that off at that point that quickly. I am amazed once again by your dishonesty, sir. Let's one more time. Mr. Beat says, wait until Gino and Keanu get divorced and marry sloppy seconds Kiki. I could never do that. I could never do that. Not only is Gino my friend, but Keanu is fucking hideous. That, look, did he cut any of that? Was any of that cut and spliced together? No, it was not cut and spliced together. However, that was not the complete thought of what I was trying to say. I was trying to... Buzamok says, no cuts in that one. That one did happen. Look, I'm not saying it wasn't, I'm not saying he clipped anything out of context. I'm just saying if he would have continued that clip another 2 seconds, it would have been a different clip. That's all. Thank you, Fauci's Pangolin, for gifting a membership. Let's keep gifting memberships. We're only $85 away from tonight's goal and 83 gifted memberships away from 400 members. Thank you very much. 400 members, Keanu's favorite. It's not nice. It's not nice. Hey, guys, we officially have 1/2 hour left. Here's what I'm proposing. You, all of you, whichever way you like paying best. Venmo, PayPal, Rumble Rants, gifted memberships, whatever. Jump in there, throw a few bucks in. Let's call this thing good and a perfect week for the toe. I'm excited. We've only got 85 to go. Let's do it. Crowder Wears Panties says, no edits detected. I didn't say he edited it. I said if you would have played it a couple seconds longer, it would have been a completely different context. That's all I'm saying. All right, guys, a little over 250, a little under 300 left watching the show tonight. Thank you very much. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow, hit share, hit money, whatever you want to do. Do we have any more change.org petitions for my double chin? Yes, we're up to 3. Professor Tie-Dye said, save Aaron Imholt's longtime co-host. I threatened to laser off my double chin tonight. And that was, Professor Tie-Dye did not like that at all. He would like you guys to go to change.org and search for Save Aaron Imholt. Sign the petition to save my double chin. He's looking to get to 5 signatures by the end of the program. Sanford's son. All right. Thank you for the $20. Can we get that man a booker?
We want the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
All right. That's going to put us at $70 away from tonight. Thank you very much. We're getting close. Sanford's son says, any thoughts on Brennan and Carmick going to war today? That poor kid could use a friend about now. Maybe even a link. Do you have anything? Do you have any clips regarding Brennan and Carmick? I would love to talk to the boy. I'd like to steer him in the right direction. I think he started hanging out with the wrong crowd. I think it fucked him up. And I think there's still room for that boy to be okay. Sanford Son, do you have yourself? Now, that also puts you at 74, but I think he gave away. I think Sanford Son gave away his 54 from last night. I'm not really sure. We are only $70 away tonight. Thank you very much. Mikey Two Milk sending me a message. He says, double chin. Don't you think that's a little conservative? No, but I think that's a remarkably mean thing you just said. Remarkably mean. Do we have any Karmic Kevin Brennan clips? I'm very interested. Kevin Brennan Karmic. Breaking news, KB is out of the Karmic and fish lunch business, back into the Pat Dixon business. I don't see any clips, though. I don't see any clips. Huh. That's too bad. Guys, I don't, you know me, I don't watch this stuff. You need to get me some info here. Karmic Kevin Brennan. 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 1 month ago. I got nothing new. I'm sorry. I apologize, Sanford Son. I'd love to have something for you. I have nothing. I'm sorry. Salt Dumpster, that is a really mean insult to Blind Mike. That is not very, I'm not even going to read that one, but and I'm not laughing at it either. That's not very nice. Sanford Son with $5 says, I hate to give Burrow a view. Why? There's nothing wrong with Burrow. So what if he's a mentally ill guy who does too much internet and he's a little in love with me? I just want him to admit it. I'm not saying he's a bad guy or anything. I'm just saying he's probably got a shitload of mental problems. That's okay. $65 away from tonight's goal. Keep going. We got 25 minutes left and we're getting very, very close. Let's keep rallying up and call it another win for the toe. All right. Karmic X reacts to his MLC podcast firing. Oh, boy. What happened now? What the fuck happened now? Oh, nice haircut, Karmic. Now, back to me, Jules.
We want the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
I'm from Minnesota. It's summertime here. Even though I have a bright light shining on me, I have some color. I got some darkness. Karmic lives in Minnesota. How the fuck is this Irish bog bastard this fucking white in the dog days of summer? We're coming up on Labor Day, motherfucker. It ain't Easter. You shouldn't be this pale and see-through. Come on. Get outside. You're wearing it on your face that you're not going out. Don't you have a new girl or something? Take the new girl out to dinner, something like that. What are we doing? Why do I look like I could stare through one of your pores and see your brainstem? This isn't okay. All right, let's see what happens. So Kevin Brennan said no more Karmic. Now I feel kind of responsible for this boy, seeing as I made him. I created him. I gave him the platform. And then what's funny about it is that like all the steel toe haters were like, no, we have to take Karmic away from him. And I'm like, guys, he's not mine. Like I just had him on my show. I thought he loses his mind a lot. He's really angry. I thought it would be fascinating to talk to him. We have to take him from the toe. You can have him. He's not mine. We just had him on. He's ours now. And then Karmic thought he had all these friends. And then all those people went, I'm fucking bored with the Karmic thing. I'm done. And then he hopped on the Kevin Brennan train, which I think is a mildly healthier train. But apparently now that's gone too. Am I going to have to rescue the boy? I mean, he's going to have to take an ample dose of I told you so. But I mean, I'll rescue the kid. He's got a good heart.
Stuttering John and Kevin Brennan were cool. I guess not. I didn't know that. I'm supposed to know that? Jesus fucking Christ. Fucking believable.
Why I'm lost. I'm confused. Why the fuck are we yelling already? Why are we mad? What's the deal?
I had nothing but respect for Kevin Brennan. Nothing.
You can still have nothing but respect for Kevin Brennan. I don't understand what's the thing that changed this. You understand you both talk into microphones like assholes for super chats. Like there's no reason there needs to be anything personal. None of this should be personal. This should all be an act. This should all be just doing a show. But so many of you guys treat this like it's fucking real life. One of you thinks you're in an actual relationship with me. It's fucking weird. I've never seen you in person. I've never met you in person. We've never spoken to each other. And you think you're in a fucking boyfriend, girlfriend, even though you're a dude, relationship with me. And here you got this karmic guy where he thinks like Kevin Brennan's his buddy, and none of this is personal. You don't know each other.
And it's not enough. I knew that going into it. It won't be enough. I've been nothing but nice and kind and respectful to his fucking world.
Who gives a shit?
Everybody fucking has a problem with me. That's a fact.
Karmic, I just want to talk to you. I don't dislike you. We don't know each other. You were on my show once. If you go out and you meet an asshole, you met an asshole. If you go out and all you meet are assholes, you're the asshole.
And they are easily fucking swayed to have an issue with me. I'm used to it. It's just the same shit every day. So I stepped on a goddamn fucking eggshell today.
Landmine. Nothing happens if you step on an eggshell. You might get a little egg on your foot. Walking on eggshells as if you're being really careful because you don't want to upset anyone. If you're talking about like an explosion happened because of something you did, that's stepping on a landmine. That's a totally different. Never mind.
Because I was under the assumption that Stuttering John and Kevin Brennan were cool.
Oh my God! Who gives a flying fuck? Is he Stuttering John? Are you Stuttering John? If you say Stuttering John, you're a fucking loser. If you think about Stuttering John for a second in your day, punch yourself in the dick and apologize to Jesus. There is not a sentence more embarrassing to me that can start with Stuttering John. I hear people go to me, they're like, I think you're like Stuttering John. And I'm like, the fact that you think that might be the gayest fucking thing I've ever heard another man say to another one. And that counts someone who says something like, pound my ass until I get AIDS come in my butthole. Don't. Numero uno. No, I mean, Buzama. I didn't.
And I guess not. I guess they weren't. I didn't know. I didn't realize. I had no fucking clue. And now I'm, persona non grata all the fucking sudden. And what did I get? A text saying I'm pathetic. What the fuck, dude?
You know what you should do? Yell for the next 8 minutes about a podcast that has steel toe numbers like Kevin Brennan's does about how you're not pathetic. That's definitely going to convince everyone. I gotta tap out of this clip because I gotta be honest, these are boring. Also, no offense, I know So Thorough Joe Burrow worries about my opinion. I know it's gonna drive him fucking insane. He'll go on Reddit and Discord and bitch about it. Bro, you gotta trim these down. 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Nobody's gonna watch it for that long. It's probably why it's got less than 400 views. Okay. No, but dude, these are lazy. You're being lazy, my man. That's all. $5 from K Fallen the Great says, you're right, though. Double chin insulting. More like an arm flotation device a child uses. It's not what I meant. $60 away from tonight's goal. Come on, guys. We got 20 minutes left, and we're $60 away. Let's knock it out. Let's call it a win for the toe. And let's make this thing happen. It is the final goal of the week. Oh, shit. I closed out our YouTube chat. Son of a bitch. I just completely closed the fucking thing down. I'm sorry, K Fallen. There we go. Thank you, guys. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Beg, 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 shake, shake, shake. Just $60 away and 20 minutes to go. Sam Show says, I'm mad at Kevin now. I can't believe he did that. Whatever it was. Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck happened. It just makes absolutely no sense. None whatsoever. And then, like, people watch that. They spend their whole day watching that. You notice how we went to 1 minute and 30 seconds and we were like, I got better shit to do with my time. There are fucking zombie loser weirdos who they search out clips of that shit all day long. That's how you get, dude, that's how you get school shooters. No joke. That's how you get school shooters. All right, we got another clip. This one is Chad Buzamok says, in response, Aaron Imholt confirming everything in context in regard to Keanu clip. Now, that's not what I said at all. Look, I'm not saying he clipped anything out of context. Look, I'm not saying there was a but. You cut out the but. Leave the but, my man. Can't win. Can't win with this dirty jerk. $60 away, guys. Get it done. Throw it in. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo. Honestly, there's nothing sitting between us and perfection this week but that $60. So yes, I am vehemently pushing that $60 over the next 15 minutes because that is the difference between me and me feeling like I did a perfect job this week. Just a little 60. Mr. Beat says, I don't know how Doom is a functional human. His whole life is clipping the Dabbleverse. I think it's really weird that Doom guy pretends to be a woman when I saw somebody sent me a chat that Ian Hawkins was Doom. Like, that's so weird. It's like, why do you want to be a woman? Like, is that a trans thing? Do we have like a, Annunciation shooter kind of vibe going on here? Either that or Doom is a woman and that Hawkins, is it Ian Hawkins is his name or Tom Hawkins, whatever, is either a dude who pretends to be a woman while clipping channels because they're afraid of being found out, which is odd. Or they're transgender, which is totally, it would fit because that's an extremely mentally ill human being. So trans would be understandable. Or Doom is a woman and this Hawkins guy is pretending to be a chick because it feels good. Like James Gum in Silence of the Lambs. I don't know. I'm sure in that audience there's a lot of trooning people, but I don't think they're ready to go public with it. So you guys who send me all that stuff, shame on you. You're outing people. You're outing people. Uh-oh. I keep saying numero uno. Chad Buzamok says he's got another clip. Jesus Christ, what have I done this evening? All right, let's take a look. Let's see. One more. I can't possibly fuck up again. Pound my ass until I get AIDS come in my butthole. I kind of knew right after I said that could actually be the consequence of me saying, hey, can that be our new $100 drop? That would be good. Sanford's son with $5 says, if you think Burroughs was overlong, forget Doom's half hour. The minute or so of crying was the only good part. Oh, my God. These people are fit for a straitjacket. The whole lot of them. $55 away from tonight's goal. Hey, let's go big and let's knock this thing out in the next 15 minutes. $55 to go. We're flirting. You're touching right around the hole. It's very sensitive. It's a very sensitive hole. Go ahead and penetrate the bastard. $5 from Vidam. Says, I hear you found out who's Citizen M's name and phone number and address. Is that true, Aaron? No, I don't know anything about him other than it's Christian Wyatt. But that's like on his Facebook and everything else. That's not private information. Every time he DM'd me on Facebook begging me to be nicer and saying, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Sometimes I just can't control myself. Maybe we'll read some of Christian Wyatt's DMs to me from a while back when he was telling me all the problems that he has and shit. It's just like, dude. And then like to let someone in on that and tell someone those secrets and then still act like a crazy fucking cunt, you either can't help it or you're just the dumbest guy who's ever fucking lived. And honestly, either one is believable at this point. But no, it's Citizen M is Christian Wyatt. Yes. T. Duden says Karmic is a nice boy. He's just naive and very dumb. I would agree with that. I think these guys all just lean too much into like the shit they're doing. I think they just lean too far into it and they get a little psychotic. Pants Maestro, I'm sorry. No, he was not lying. I apologize, Pants Maestro. It was pretty sad. All right, guys, $50. Now you guys are only $50 away. Holy shit. Let's drop it in and call it another win for the toe. $50 away. We got Pete Hegseth. Ooh, Pete Hegseth is announcing an investigation into Microsoft for working with the Chinese. I like this. We're going to be going after Bill Gates and his company for working with the Chinese government. So basically, these fucking tech billionaires know no allegiances. They just go wherever the money is, and they sell their own country down the river. This is going to be a great investigation by Pete Hegseth until the CIA makes him stop or threatens to kill his family.
Last month, the Department of Defense was made aware of an Obama-Biden-era legacy program called Digital Escorts. For nearly a decade, Microsoft has used Chinese coders, remotely supervised by U.S. contractors, to support sensitive DoD cloud systems.
Whoa. Our Department of Defense cloud systems, while overseen by United States companies, were then sublet to Chinese companies. So basically, theoretically, check me if I'm wrong here, Sandy. If they wanted to, those Chinese companies who were handling DoD information and servers could just go ahead and extract whatever they wanted to, take it, and we would be none the wiser? That checks out.
The program was designed to comply with contracting rules, but it exposed the department to unacceptable risk. I mean, if you're thinking America first and common sense, this doesn't pass either of those tests.
Right. That's not America first. That would be like bombing a country that's never attacked us because Israel wanted you. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's not America first. I mean, that would be like having a list of people that were serviced by a Mossad pedophile to get blackmail on American people and to use that as leverage to get American presidents to do what they want, and then never releasing that information to the American I can't believe that you guys would do something like this. My trust is completely and irreparably broken.
So I initiated an immediate review of this vulnerability, and I want to report our initial findings. So the use of Chinese
fucked up
nationals to service Department of Defense cloud environments, it's over. We've issued a formal letter of concern to Microsoft documenting this breach of trust.
Ooh, a letter of concern. That's right, guys. You better stop using Chinese companies to spy on our military technology legally, or we're going to be mad at you.
And we're requiring a third-party audit of Microsoft's digital escort program, including the code and the submissions by Chinese nationals.
I would like to see Jeffrey Epstein's escort list while we're talking about escort programs.
Audit will be free of charge for U.S. taxpayers.
How?
I'm also tasking the Department of Defense experts.
What are you going to do? You sell an F-35 to Israel to pay for it?
With a separate investigation of the digital escort program and the Chinese Microsoft employees that were involved in it.
Oh.
These investigations.
And what are we going to do to them? I believe two things, fuck and all.
Will help us determine the impact of this digital escort workaround. Did they put anything in the code that we didn't know about? We're going to find out. Additionally,
I bet you are, Pete. I bet you'll get right to the bottom of it. I'm sorry, even though it's the Trump administration, I just don't believe so. I feel so bad that A, it doesn't surprise me that the Chinese were just allowed to spy on our tech. And number two, it bothers me a little that I don't expect anything to come of this. Because China spies and steals and does all this shit to every country. And then when they get confronted, they go, oops, my bad. They don't even say, oops, my bad. They just go, oh, well, see you next time.
Department of Defense software vendors will identify and terminate any Chinese involvement in DoD systems. It blows my mind that I'm even...
Right, because they haven't ingrained themselves into those systems at all. They haven't been able to copy those systems or anything like that. We're totally going to be fine on this deal.
Saying these things, it's such common sense that we ever allowed it to happen. That's why we're attacking it so hard.
Yeah.
We expect vendors doing business with the Department of Defense to put U.S. national security ahead of profit maximization.
At Microsoft, you said. They're going to do it at Microsoft. Do you hear that? Microsoft is going to put America's interests above its own. It's fucking Pete Hegseth's a card, isn't it? Oh, he's fucking serious? Oh, Pete. Oh, Pete. Here, have an ice cream bar. Sit down. Let me tell you a story.
I'm committed, like the president is, to ensuring that our national security networks are secure. Again, it's America first.
Yep.
And it's common sense. This never should have happened in the first place, but once we found out about it, we've attacked it aggressively from the beginning. And we're going to follow all the way through the tape to make sure that this is addressed.
That's right. You funky China men doing funky Chinatowns. We're not going to let you get away with any of that shit anymore. Pete Hegseth's on the case. And then when he figures out what's going on, he's going to email all the information to the Atlantic via Signal. Oh, boy. No, Chad Buzamok says you also said no time limit tonight. Let's go. Man, we're $50 away. Hold on, we're not. Main Vein with $20 says, hi, Aaron. Some of my solutions to the problems of the country/white race. Exile all mud. Put all trees in asylums. Kill all pedos publicly. New crusade to our homelands. I mean, I agree with the last couple. But Jesus, buddy. Did we have to go so hard in the paint on the last two? Thank you, or on the first two? Thank you, Main Vein. $20 from him.
We want the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
$35 away from tonight's goal. Guys, do me a favor. Knock out 35, and let's call it a win. We're now officially $35 separating Steel Toe and Perfection for the week. I do like the new crusade idea, though. That is pretty good. Let's do it. $35 away. 5 minutes left to do it. I think it can be done. It's only 35. I don't care. Wherever you're comfortable. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants, whatever you feel like doing, let's do it. We forgot about that congressman who was asked if he was owned by AIPAC. I would love to do that one before we go. That would be a really fun story to do. You know what? If we get this last 35 banged out in the next 5 minutes, I'll stay a little longer and get that clip done. That sounds good. Chad Buzamok says, so we're not going all night and you're not getting a beer. We knock out that 35 by 8:30. I'll do another story or two. And if you got another clip, I'll play it and I'll have a beer with you. That's the deal. $35 comes in the next 4 minutes. I'll play the music. I'll grab a beer. We'll do a little more content. We'll have a little fun with the chat here on The Toe. So $35 away. We nail it. I stick around for a few extra minutes. We get ready for Rumble Link Friday tomorrow on a Thursday. And we get ready for our big Labor Day weekend. I'm excited. I've got another story left to go, Buzamok. Don't you worry. Von Head Rex says, what kind of beer? I'll let you guys choose with your money. We're either going to do Summer Shandy or we're going to do Minnesota Gold. I don't have any carbless, Sam Show. I apologize. Otherwise, I would do it. Go ahead. We got 3 minutes left. You guys vote with your dollars, and that's the beer I will grab. 09 Canyon says, Aaron lied about being able to last all night. Big surprise. Hey, wait a minute. The phrasing. I don't like the phrasing. That's bad. That's terrible phrasing. I don't like it. Concrete Petey just got gifted a membership by Fauci's Pangolin. Pass that one along. That sounds good. Taste Fairy Ialto says, no real American beer. Well, no, I drank it all in mourning of the Hulkster. Buzamok says, Summer Shandy, how dare you call anyone else gay? Shano Banano says, such a girl. I got Summer Shandy and Minnesota Gold. For God's sake. 3 minutes left, $35 away from tonight's goal. If you're going to call me the gay F word, at least do it with a couple of bucks attached, huh? $35 is the difference between failing for the week and a perfect week for the toe. This is such a right there, razor thin margin. Let's go ahead and knock that bad boy out. By the way, did we ever find out if, cheating husband used BDSM site to recruit unwitting accomplice in wife's murder. Holy shit. Okay, I'll do that one and the APAC story. That caught my eye. But we got to knock out that 35 first, which, oh my God, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. We're going to take an L tonight. We're going to take a $35 L for the toe, and I will not be staying late this evening, it looks like. We have 2 minutes left. We're $35 away. It looks like I can start packing up and get ready to go. We'll move our waters over. I don't have to put any more alcohol in my system. I can save a couple of stories for Rumble Link Friday tomorrow, and all will be okay with the world. 1 minute left. $20 from Main Vein. He says, let's drink one, Aaron. $20 away from tonight's goal, so now it's $20. Separating us in perfection, but I think it might be too little too late. Put 1 minute on the clock. We got 1 minute left, and then I'm out of here. $20 short for the week. All that hard work coming in that close. We're going to miss by about 20. Buzamok says, go long. It will come. Something Aaron has never heard. Oh, my goodness. Kyle with $35 over on Venmo. He says, stop your whining. Here you go. All right. Looks like I'm grabbing a beer with you fine folks.
But I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Oh. Kyle, I don't think I was whining, Kyle. I think I was getting ready to pack up and be done for the night. I was excited. But here I am. Let's fire up the music. We got 2 stories to go, and I'll grab a beer. Nobody really said which one I should grab, so, well, give me a second here. How about this? Nick Fuentes blames Patrick Bet David for his blatant hypocrisy in Netanyahu video. Yeah, I saw a lot of people were shitting on that Netanyahu video. Doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me. Oh, no. Chad Buzamok says, Toe, your premiere is going up against you. Snipe it. No. It's, my, what do you call it? My premiere is going on at 9 o'clock. Buzamok, I saw you tell the chat, pretend he's muted when he comes back. You can't. How do you think this is going to work? You can't say, guys, when he comes back, pretend he's muted, and then, oh, am I muted? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, if I'm muted, I think what that means is that this extra time we were going to do tonight, totally not necessary. we don't need to continue and do the rest of the show. I guess I'll take off then. I totally didn't just dribble down my chin. That didn't happen. One thing I like about Buzamok, if you call him out, he admits it. He's an ollie oxen free kind of guy. And I respect that. All right, let's go to this congressman. Oh, did we get the petition signed? Oh, boy. Okay, we're still at 3 signatures. I'm going to put the link to the petition in both the chats. It's to save my double chin. Professor Tie-Dye made that petition. Go ahead and click on it. It's in both of the... Oh, no, it's just in the one chat. It's too long for the YouTube one. Oh, it's too long for the... Son of a cunt. Guys, does anyone have a shorter version of that link? I'm stupid. They are making fun of me like the about the summer shandy. I love a good summer shandy. Suck my asshole. It's a good summertime beer, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Stupid asshole cunt face. How do you like them apples? Pants Maestro says very straight beer choice. A Bud Light with the logo facing out. Okay, let's do these couple of stories, and then we'll get the fuck out of here for tonight. Thank you guys for another perfect week for the toe. Town hall blows up after man confronts Republican congressman over AIPAC trip to Israel. These are so disgusting. So if you're on the fence about Israel or you're critical of Israel and you're a Republican, they'll do this thing where they're like, oh man, we can take you to Israel and you'll see how wonderful Israel is. Like it's this fucking magical land that's going to make you feel good. You know where I'd like you to take me? To the place where you crucified my savior, you fuck. Now quit committing a genocide. All right, here we go. This is Representative Josh Brashear, a machine Republican who loves Israel.
This is a little complicated subject. All right. So lobbying, you get paid by AIPAC $35,000.
I did not get paid by AIPAC $35,000.
That's what they have it on your Facebook.
So can I explain to you
on the
what,
thing? Okay, let me just. I'm going to finish. I'm going to finish, and then you correct me. Okay.
You made a statement. Let me correct it. Okay. AIPAC is an organization that supports Israel. Before I ran for Congress, because of my biblical beliefs, I support Israel. I believe in Genesis 12 and Genesis.
Because of you. Oh, did you see that guy bail? That guy just bailed. He's like, fuck you, dude. Dude, it is so awesome that the right wing is bailing on Israel. I love this. Because the left has already been like, these guys are blood-sucking vampires. Fuck them. Why do we give them money? But now the right wing is out on Israel. And the right wing hates a lot different than the left wing. They hate in a more entertaining fashion. So it's going to get really good. But how about that? Because of my Christian faith, I let a bunch of Jews take me around Israel. That's kind of a cuck thing to do, isn't it? Yeah, because of my Christian faith, I let a bunch of fucking Christ killers guide me to the Wailing Wall. Yeah, you know, I'm a real Christian over here. I'm a real Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John kind of guy.
Genesis 17, I believe that there is something very special biblically about the covenant with the land of Israel.
It's not
the land, sure. But you're not taking money and accepting trips from the American Land of Christ Political Action Committee. You're taking money from the American Israeli Political Action Committee. Buddy, Mr. Brashear.
It's not in the Bible. It's not in the Bible.
Let me finish. It doesn't mean I give Israel a pass to do whatever they want to, but I have a biblical belief.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
But
go ahead. You're right. You're right. Let me finish this. Let me finish what I'm saying.
But I just want you to make sure you understand.
Right, I understand. I fully respect. I fully respect.
Yeah, I want you to understand the thing you read that said AIPAC gave. So AIPAC gave him $35,000 to take a trip to Israel. How much did you guys spend on your last vacation? Because SP and I did it pretty good in Clearwater Beach. And I don't even think I spent like hotel, airfare, the whole deal. I don't think I spent $4,000. I think I maybe spent $3,500 on the whole trip. So this guy's spending $35,000 over in Israel. Holy monkey tits.
AIPAC, who also give to members of Congress, and that money is ascribed to as if it comes from AIPAC. But the AIPAC cannot, to that level, give money. But there are people who support Israel like I do, and do give me in campaign donations. Go ahead.
Can I finish? Okay. So
the guy's like, you took $35,000 from AIPAC. No, I didn't. AIPAC gave me $35,000, and then I took a trip to Israel, and then they donate like they do anyone else. All right, cunt face. Well, like I was trying to say, they gave you $35,000. Can I ask my fucking question?
Oh, you guys, I mean, whatever AIPAC pay for congressmen. Okay, now, last month, before you even come into this meeting, you went to Israel.
I did go to Israel.
There is no other country allowed to take 40 member or 30 member of Congress, American Congress, to a different country. You didn't go to Britain. Did you go to Canada? These are our allies too. Did you go to, I don't want you to go to Lebanon. I'm Lebanese. I don't want you to go to Lebanon. I don't want you to pay Lebanon.
How about Syria?
Well, but don't go to Syria.
That's what I've been working on for 2 weeks. Do you know about the genocide that's happening in Suwaida?
I know.
Oh, so now we care about genocide. That's fun. But you don't want to call it a genocide because you might not get $35,000, you whore.
I follow up with it. I completely. I can discuss that with you all day. But this is not the subject.
The whole world is focused on
the subject.
Are you taking fucking money from ASPAC? That doesn't sound right, does it? I don't take money from ASPAC either. There's nobody should take money from ASPAC. There's all kinds of problems with ASPAC money. It's an issue. It meant to be America Syria Political Action Committee. I understand now it means gay sex. ASPAC. Don't ASPAC. So anyway, continue on.
On Gaza, but are you aware of what's happening to the genocide in Syria?
I'm aware of everything, every little detail. Now, when you get...
I watch you in your home when you are sleeping. By the way, this guy knows what cigar to pair with a good whiskey. He's Lebanese. They just know that shit.
When you get paid by a country, then you have to pass laws that affect them, don't you? You just passed $500 million assistance to Israel. Isn't that right? The last $500 million that Margaret Tyler Greene, she refused. That bill that she passed, you passed on it. You signed on it, right?
Keep talking. I'm going to pause and honor you.
Okay.
You need to pause and honor me.
Right.
For years, the American government, who benefits from the technology advancements that go on with David Sling. Well, you had 1,200 missiles that were launched into Israel. Do you guys know how many American...
I don't give a fuck how many missiles were launched into Israel. I don't care if 1 million fucking missiles are launched into Israel. I'm not a fucking Israeli. Jesus Christ, when are these people going to get it through their fucking head? I don't care how much fucking Jew gold you took during your last campaign, cocksucker. You're a fucking American representative. I don't care if 500 fucking Israelis got slaughtered in the streets. None of my fucking business. We got our problems. You got yours. Go ahead and take care of them. And besides, it doesn't matter how many missiles get launched at Israel because they have American taxpayer dollars that shoot down every single one of those missiles. You know what I'm concerned about? All the fucking Gazan hospitals that they're flattening on purpose so they can slaughter people from Gaza, take down their buildings, knock out their infrastructure, plow it all down, and rebuild it with big old fucking stars of David on them. You fucking useful idiot. You stupid Muskogee redneck.
American citizens live in Israel? 750,000 U.S. citizens.
They're dual citizens. They're Israeli and American citizens. And I got bad news for you, buddy. Ask Ben Shapiro when you inject him with truth serum. They all see themselves as Israeli first before American.
Live in Israel today. What is this?
A lot of them are PDF files that got fucking sent back after they got a charge because we do that for them. Because of fucking AIPAC.
Size of a congressional district. 750,000. So when those 1,200 rockets are coming into Israel, designed to take out citizenship, and we provide assistance for the defense mechanisms, imagine a bullet going up and intercepting another bullet.
No, not that towards the beautiful Jews. Oh,
the American system
what are we gonna do?
helping pay for David Sling, the Arrow system. Those are also benefiting America because of technology that we have for the
Those
future
are
of warfare.
benefiting
Are you
America.
aware, in the last several months.
All right, I can't listen to this fucking jack off anymore. Oh, no, you don't understand. All the money I take from AIPAC, they use it to benefit America. Yeah, really? So, like, to tell us about 9/11 and shit, right? Cool. Thanks, buddy. Main Vein with $1 says, Skull brother, thank you. I gave myself a bit of a heart attack. A little bit of a heart attack there. I think I'm dying. Pants Maestro says, Chew hate seems to be intensifying, Aaron. Careful or that artery in your 5 head is going to blow. Oh, when it does, it'll be a glorious ending, though, won't it? Don't say that I don't commit to the bit to give you people what they want. Pants Maestro, you and the group you used to really run around with and you used to really love before you admitted your love for Steel Toe, you guys would love it. You guys would love it if I died with a fucking embolism bursting in my brain. So you should thank me for getting this angry. Loaded Wrench with $5 says this is Stu getting pinned. All right, we'll check that out. Thank you, CJ. He says F Israel, but anyone calling it a genocide is gullible. Well, color me gullible. Where is that? Someone counting Stu getting pinned. Here we go. Let's take a look. What the? What the fuck? I have not seen that yet. That is remarkably shitty. And why did the ref count that? Oh, that is really fucking weird. All right, let's do another Chad Buzamot clip. Clip as requested of Aaron Imholt having a sober moment of talk with himself. I don't endorse this. I already don't endorse this. You fucking useful idiot. You know what I like about that one? Simple, short and sweet, to the point. I like that one. Bravo, buddy. Bravo. All right, let's check out this story. This is, I think this is Virginia. This one's fucked up, and then we'll head home for the night. Thank you guys very much for going over tonight's goal and kicking ass and taking names. I appreciate it. Go ahead.
7 months after a woman was fatally stabbed and a man shot inside of a Reston home, an au pair has been charged in connection with one of those deaths.
That's our big story tonight at 5 o'clock. Tisha Lewis is here in studio with the latest details. Tisha.
Well, an incredible story with new developments. Marina and Jim, Fairfax County police say after that 7-month investigation, an au pair is under arrest in connection to the February shooting of a man. The shooting took place near the Hattontown neighborhood, and police have identified the au pair as 23-year-old Brazil native Juliana Perez Magales. Now, police.
Oh, so he wanted to run off with the Brazilian maid. Why do they always look like Vanderlei Silva? Why are they always like? It's either like sculpted bikini models who look incredible, or Vanderlei the axe murderer Silva. There's no in between with Brazilian women. You know what it is? The super hot ones, Portuguese blood. The flat, just complete 100% Brazilians. Brazilian jiu-jitsu artists.
They have spoken to Magales, but are tight-lipped about any potential confession. Investigators.
I'm just jealous she's got a more pronounced jaw than I do.
Say when they initially arrived to the Reston neighborhood, 37-year-old Christine Banfield was upstairs suffering from stab wounds, and 38-year-old Joseph Ryan was found nearby suffering from gunshot wounds. The au pair and Banfield's husband initially called police, the latter reportedly saying he shot Ryan. Ultimately, a police investigation indicated otherwise.
Wait. So the husband... The au pair killed the wife and shot the husband, or the husband killed the wife and the au pair shot it? What the fuck?
I've recovered all weapons, and we've identified all persons involved in this case. At the point when we have still many investigative leads to follow up on, and when we get to a point that we can identify more persons, we will do that.
Right now, Magales is charged with second-degree murder and is being held at the Adult Detention Center with no bond. Police say
I think somebody's going back to Brazil pretty soon. So she's being charged with the murder, but the au pair was fucking the husband. So cheating husband used BDSM site to recruit unwitting accomplice in wife's murder. Oh, that's according to the au pair. So the woman they're charging with the crime, she says, no. The husband recruited me to do this through a BDSM website. He just wanted to be tied up, sodomized, and fucked. but then he wanted me to kill his wife too. It just always gets, it's always a more complicated job than they tell you in the description, isn't it? Every goddamn time. Shit. Tolkien Studies says, hey, leave us Portuguese alone. You guys are fine. I said that that's where the hotness in the Brazilian ladies come from. The problem comes with the fucking the Vanderlei Silva heads. That's the issue. All right, guys, thank you very much. You deserve it. You deserve extra time. You deserve extra stories. You deserve a beer for all of your generosity. Thank you so much for your contributions this week. Tomorrow is going to be our last show of the week. Well, tomorrow night I'll do a members only. But we have a show tomorrow morning. It's going to be Rumble Friday. We'll see you there. Become a member. Like, subscribe, follow. We appreciate you being here, and we'll talk to you bright and early tomorrow morning.